The Opie and Anthony Show.
Opie and Anthony.
Radio shock jocks.
Opie and Anthony.
In the world of radio shock jocks, the biggest are Opie and Anthony.
These people say shocking things that border on offensive in order to entertain their audience.
I refuse to sit here and think that radio has to be nice. Why? Why does radio, out of any other medium, have to be nice? We are being now held to a standard where we have to be nice and make people feel good. Go screw!
Radio bad boys, Opie and Anthony.
Controversial radio personalities, Opie and Anthony.
Infamous DJs, Opie and Anthony.
Talk show radio hosts, Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony.
Radio shock jocks, Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony. Shock jocks, Opie and Anthony. Shock jocks, Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony. Shock jocks, Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Po boo bo banana nana banana fana fofo fee fi momo po.
Who thought you were dead? The people you were partying with?
Dealers, yeah.
Dealers and stuff, and they just threw him in a dumpster in London.
Well, you know,
and left him there.
I think it's pretty funny. No one wants a dead rock star.
This is where entertainment is going.
I shot my computer. You can't shoot guns in suburbia.
And I fully expected the police to show up.
This is showing responsibility.
Opie and Anthony.
I think worse than having sex with a man would be, as you're kissing one, to feel his man hand holding your head like the sweat of a man hand right on the nape of your neck. This is the worst. The worst show This is the worst show I've ever been on.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Jose, can you see by the starry lights? For the ramparts we watch was so gallantly gleaming, and the rockets regular, God's words bursting in air, gave proof to the light that our flag was still there. Jose, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now we can start the show. Thank you, Roland. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yeah. The day after Halloween.
Oh. Ooh, did everyone get their candy? This holiday's got to end, whatever it is. I don't even consider it a holiday because no one's really off from work or anything.
Why does it have to end?
Because it's really annoying. Yeah. It's intrusive. It doesn't have a real, purpose. Halloween. It's just stupid.
I swear to God, I'm zoned out for a second reading this church article. I think you meant the playing of Roland singing the national anthem.
Oh, well, that too.
Yeah.
Yes, that too.
Let's just stop democracy. We hate it. That can only mean one thing. You had some trick-or-treaters yesterday?
A few.
And they annoyed the hell out of you? What's going on with you?
It just... the second I pull into my garage, and then, of course, shut the door quickly, they came out of everywhere in my neighborhood. See, I wasn't around for last Halloween, but I'm around for this one, and all I saw were droves of children in costumes all over the neighborhood. And I'm like, as I'm pulling into my neighborhood, I'm like, uh-oh, this is trouble. I don't have any candy.
What do you mean you don't have any candy?
Well,
you were talking about getting candy in the big Snickers bars and being the cool house.
Here's the deal. I get home, and then I have to take a little nap, and then I go to the gym, and then by the time I get back from the gym, it's already, I don't know, it's after 5. I know that's kind of peak Halloween-y time, but I wasn't thinking about candy or anything.
So who was at the house listening to the doorbell just ring over and over again?
Poor little Jack. Poor Jack was just petrified because he doesn't like the bell anyway.
Yeah.
The bell scares him. He runs upstairs and hides behind a big mirror. He just gets scared.
He's scared because he thinks his owner's coming home.
No, I'm very good to Jack.
I hope you are.
Yes. And so I pull in the garage, and droves of kids come to the house, but now I don't have anything. So I didn't want to go into the house because I got too many windows and they could see me. So there I am in my dark garage, which my garage door has a little glass at the top of the door. So I'm standing up on my my Escalade bumper, peering out with one eye at the little children in their costumes and just hoping they go away. I felt like Anne Frank. I was just hiding. And then they start taking pictures in front of my house. They're like taking pictures in front of my house.
That means you have a nice house.
No, I guess they're on to me. Let's take a picture in front of the Shock Jock's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you have Halloween decorations out?
Not a one.
Huh.
Not a one. And so I'm kind of, I figure, all right, they go away. I go in the house, and then I sit at the computer for a little bit. But I noticed the computer, there's a line of sight there through one of the windows in the front of the house. So I hear, and I just run. And I find myself, I'm hiding in my house. So I had to go out and buy candy. So I figured I'd go out and buy some candy. So I did that, came back with just a crap load of candy. And believe me, it's hard to find on Halloween afternoon because the place is ravaged. But I get like good stuff for the little tots. And I put it in a big thing by the door. But I also took my laptop, put it at the top of the stairs with a camera, and put it on Pal Talk. So I figured that if I'm going to hang around and be on Pal Talk on the computer, I have another camera that shows the front door so the people can see the little tots. And they were making jokes because every time somebody came to the door, they would know before I did because they'd see him peering through my windows and go, Anthony, you're being invaded. There were many racial epithets being thrown out. I think the dog was on Pal Talk last night. The dog.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
That's the reason you're listening to this show today. We'll get to that a little later.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I went to the door a couple of times and handed out some candy. But for the most part, the second I bought that candy, it pretty much ended. They weren't coming to the door anymore.
So now you're stuck with a lot of candy.
So now I'm stuck with a lot of candy, and I didn't want to wait around. And if I went up to bed and someone starts knocking on the door, I'd be annoyed. So I remembered in my truck, an officer friend of mine had to write a note on something and put it in my windshield one day just so I could park for a few minutes somewhere. So the note was written on the back of a great big place card that said, crime scene under investigation. Do not cross police line. And I stapled that to my front door. And that pretty much ended Halloween at my house right there. Right there. Big yellow sign that a crime scene was behind that door and not to even interrupt. It's being investigated. It worked perfectly.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. I learned something. I live in a big building now, and I live pretty high up.
Yeah.
These little effers, and I like kids. These little effers take up the elevators.
Oh, really?
And I feel sorry for these city kids. What they do is they just go from floor to floor in the big buildings.
They trick or treat.
How boring is that?
Vertically, they do a vertically,
but
trick or treating.
They take up the elevators for the whole day, and everyone warns you in the lobby, like, "Oh, you're going to try to use the elevator? Good luck." I'm like, "But I live like way up high." Well, you might as well start walking now.
Really?
And I didn't believe them, so I started hitting the elevator button, and you could hear the little effers with their parents holding the elevator door as they're going from floor to floor to floor to floor. Because they don't want to wait for the elevator, so if they got one, they pile everybody in, and they just go from floor to floor, doing their trick-or-treating. And then I was wondering why no one was coming to our door, and I realized that we were supposed to sign up, I guess, or something. I don't know. Because he's...
Are you kidding me? They have like a list?
Yeah, the children were walking around with a list of what apartments were cool, which ones to go to. I didn't know.
Which ones have the red dot next to it?
Yeah.
Oh,
which
boy.
ones are on that website that the parents checked first?
It says Uncle Paul.
Speaking of which, Coke Logic has a new creation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, trick-or-treaters go into Uncle Paul's house. It's an animation. I don't know where it's going to be. It'll be on, sure, some of the fan sites, that's for sure.
Good evening.
Trick or treat.
Good evening.
My health doesn't allow it.
Oh.
Yeah.
This candy,
Food? All right.
No.
Try the wine.
But I'm 8.
I'm pleased you appreciate good wine.
But my sister was here earlier. What happened to her?
She was very badly raped, you see. Victim of the modern age. Poor girl.
I'd love to go to his house on Halloween.
I want to talk to him on the phone for hours about anything.
And then Kenny made an observation that a lot of the people were still dressed in their costumes on the way in today, all drunk, just doing the wobbly walk.
Really?
Yeah, all over the sidewalks of New York City.
Oh, because it is still kind of just morning or late night, actually, when we
by the time
come in.
Kenny makes it into Manhattan, yeah, it's 4-something. So
the streets were a vomitorium.
Absolutely,
yeah,
and nothing but hot Halloween outfits once again this year.
Oh, did you go down to the gay parade? Another showcase of flamboyant gay people just annoying the hell out of gay people that just want to kind of live their lives as, kind of normal, straight ahead. Well, not straight, but, go to work every day, just trying to earn a living, not really being flamboyant with their gayness.
Were there any problems down there?
I heard, on the news on the way in, a couple stabbings and stuff.
That was in Union Square?
With a flesh knife.
Repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
And they say, is it a victim if he continually backs into the offending weapon? Apparently was stabbed in the larynx as well. Stabbed in the tonsils, the face. His spine, his little backside.
It only ended when the weapon lost its rigidity.
He had a knife in each hand, one black, one white. He was having a knife slapped in his face.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess compared to the amount of people down there, not much trouble. But
there was a shooting somewhere in New York last night.
Of course,
I think Union Square
always.
Area. Not really. Philly, their shootings always.
Philadelphia, man. Oh, a couple of cops in one day.
A cop got shot in the head, trying to break up a robbery at a Dunkin' Donuts or something?
Yeah.
Was it a Dunkin' Donuts?
It's some convenience store, or was it a Dunkin' Donuts?
I'm not sure, but then the news said that it's the third police shooting, the third cop this week that got shot this week.
In Philly?
Just open season.
Yeah, they don't know what to do down there in some of those neighborhoods. They're like encouraging just regular citizens to kind of help out. That's how desperate they are.
A couple of cop friends were over the house yesterday, and one of them's from Philly, and he was saying, it's ridiculous. There's nothing. I was telling him it's a losing battle because people scream that they need more police presence in an area, and then you give them the police presence, and they say that there's police brutality going on. So they want them out of the neighborhood. And then the cops try to do their job, and they wind up with a good possibility of going to jail, no matter what they do to try to get rid of some of the crime that's going on. So it's a losing proposition. I don't know. Whoever wants to be a cop these days, man, I don't know. We have this job where, all right, if we screw up, we get fired. Maybe a couple of people like Jimmy get arrested for a day and a half, 2 days. I'm not putting that in any,
no, you're right.
I'm sure it was traumatic and everything. But you take a job where you can actually, just doing your job, go to prison for the rest of your life. It's astonishing that anybody would want to do that. And a tip of the hat to the men in blue.
The men in blue.
And women.
No, not the women.
No. Just
the men.
Just the men in
pink.
blue.
Women in pink.
Little badge.
They ought to dress them in pink.
They should with frilly skirts.
They stop a perp and just say, "Could you wait here until a real police officer shows up?"
They give you a ticket and then they wash your windows.
Worse.
Oh, there's going to be some angry female cops.
Kidding.
Of course we're teasing. You're tough broads. Believe me, we remember back at NEW when they had to handcuff us.
Yeah, but we weren't in shape back then.
Nah.
I want another shot at that.
Working out now, bitch.
I want another shot at that. I see that old video with my beer belly rolling around the ground with that female broad.
I was winded getting out of my chair.
Yeah, I want another shot at it. Of course, we're talking about a bit we did where we had female cops come in and we were allowed to try to
resist and
get out of the studio.
See how fast they could handcuff us.
It was two broads.
Two broads.
And one shock jock.
Yep. And boy, they got me in a few seconds. They had my face in the carpet. Well, literally. I mean, quite literally, the carpet on the floor, and it was just, they were scraping it. I had a knee to the back of my neck, and instantly, I just put my hands behind my back. Like, all right, just cuff me.
Yeah.
You didn't know how to get out of it. See, in a situation like that, you have to yell, "There's cookies burning in the oven," and they just panic and run the other way.
They freak out.
And then they go, "Wait a minute.
Hubby's home, and dinner ain't ready.
Yeah.
Unless you want a black eye."
Let's say hi to Jason in North Carolina before we move on from the Halloween thing. Jason, what's up?
Hey, good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Hey, Anthony, what the fuck, man? Oh,
Hey, we want people to hear you, sir.
Whoa.
Hello, check 1, 2. All right, go ahead, sir.
Go, Jason.
Halloween's like the best adult holiday there is, man. You can dress up and be whoever you want to be, like Himmler.
Well, no, see, you can't do that. It's a little politically incorrect. The second you start dressing like awful people from history, you get in trouble. Look what happened. Who was that, Prince Harry? Or Prince, I think Prince Harry at one point dressed like a...
You just can't go to school dressed like that.
No.
Yeah. You can walk around the streets
Cartman.
however you want.
You can't really walk around as Hitler. You can't put on a Hitler costume and walk around and be like, "Hey, I'm going to a party." Someone's going to be offended. Someone's going to say something. Someone's probably going to punch you in the face and have a little mustache on their knuckle.
You better know a little bit of that karate.
How silly would Hitler doing karate look?
Karate. Yeah, you dress like that, you better have some skills.
Exactly.
A few skills. I don't know. This might not make sense anymore because Halloween has passed, but they did a whole thing yesterday that we didn't get to because we had an amazing radio show. Everyone is complimenting us.
My God.
Broadcast we did yesterday.
And a broadcast it was.
And unfortunately, we have to do it all over again today.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last show.
And by the way, for the people wondering, E-Rock is A-OK. Thumbs up. Thumbs up
really?
For the A-Rock.
Good.
Yeah, I read
for the E-Rock.
I read a few posts about the E-Rock situation.
Can we play that audio from the other side today? Sure. Because it was like a it was like a lifetime moment.
It really was.
For a Shock Jock show, we had like kind of a lifetime moment yesterday with E-Rock.
We kind of got away from shock jockery for a moment, and E-Rock
Can we get that?
showed his sensitive side.
All right, we'll explain, but that'll be your tease, but E-Rock had a little breakdown yesterday.
Oh, look at him. He's like, oh, God.
And it has something to do with something we did on this side of the radio show. That's why we got to bring what happened yesterday over here to kind of wrap it up into a nice little package with a bow and all. Let's see if this makes sense. If not, we'll just move on.
That generally boys are Batman or Spider-Man or any number of costumes which seem to just be fine. It's the girls, all of their costumes, whether it's a nurse or a teacher or a police officer or a pirate, they all have these sort of sexy interpretations for young girls who are as young as 7 years old. One woman is saying that she just simply doesn't have choices, yet her son can be a ninja fighter and it's fine, but then she's got to explain to her daughter why she can't be Hannah Montana because the Hannah Montana costume comes with a short skirt and fishnet stockings.
Well, and what's wrong with that?
Is that what a Hannah Montana? Am I looking at the Hannah Montana?
I guess. I don't know.
That's fishnets.
Well, it is true. Like the costumes for the girls out there, no matter what age, they're all just sexy costumes.
Well, young girls, for some reason, want to dress
like Britney Spears,
like sluts.
Well, Britney Spears and Paris Hilton started that.
Yeah.
To the young girls, they think they're just dressing.
They're dressing up.
They're just, dressing nice.
They're not dressing in a costume and going, "Oh, I'm going to be so sexy and sexual."
They're not dressing in these costumes and looking into the mirror and going, "Wow, my ass looks good."
Yeah.
They just think it's what you're supposed to wear. It's just very normal. But
it's dress up.
But if you're a bit older, there's only one way to look at it. These are very sexy outfits. But for some reason, because of Britney Spears and Paris Hilton, this is completely acceptable for young women to wear.
Yeah. The fishnets, that's a little odd when you see them on some of these pictures.
On an 8-year-old, it's a bit strange.
Some of these pictures that are printed out.
Well, Danny found, you got a girl
costume shop
dressed kind of like a Harry Potter student, but but they sexed up the outfit. A girl dressed up like a little she-devil.
The she-devil. How old would you say she is?
She's 11.
How do you know?
I just know.
Oh, see, I thought the she-devil was a little older.
See, I hang out.
What about Little Red Riding Hood?
I hang out with kids.
Little Red Riding Hood. How old?
All right, hold on. Where's Little Red Riding Hood? I know this is she's a bit older. She's about, I'm going to give her 14.
All right, would you hit that?
No. Absolutely not.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Absolutely not.
Of course not.
There's plenty to choose
Against
from.
the law.
Plenty to choose from that are of legal age.
Depends on the state you're in.
Exactly.
No, I mean, that does nothing for me.
Well,
absolutely nothing.
State of frenzy.
State of frenzy. Here's more on the sexy outfit.
I mean, I do think there's a certain amount of projection here. I mean, little girls tend to wear skirts that tend to show their knees and stuff, and for us to say, "Oh, that's too sexy," In other words,
you can tell when it looks like a hooker.
Right, and some of those in those pictures we showed, some kind of did to me, and some didn't.
It kind of sexualizes young girls. I mean, even the depictions on the.
All right, hold on a second.
All right, what's wrong with this guy?
This guy, check his computer. Check his computer
immediately.
I would, based on nothing more than past performance, past convictions. In my opinion, his computer should be checked because he protesteth too much. It's one of those things where it's like it's freaking him out so much that I think his computer should be looked into. How the hell do you? I understand you go, these things are a little too safe, but he's on the news. He's talking about it. It's sexualizing them, and I can't take it. I can't look at this. It's driving me crazy.
Well, history will show that you're pretty close to the truth, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
The guys that yell and scream the most are usually the biggest
the problems. Yeah. The problems. We will talk a little later about another Republican tripping over his own unit on his way to political greatness.
Bobby Big Rigger. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, long time no talk to you guys.
Yep.
For those who haven't lingered longer, would you be able to explain exactly how you can tell how old a girl is? 11 years old.
I don't use that skill on the underage.
No, he's just estimating.
Thanks, Bobby.
Based on a two-dimensional picture.
Bobby Big Rigger's just proving that he lingers longer.
I love that. What the hell is that saying for politicians? The two
Don't
things.
Get caught with a dead girl or a live boy.
Yeah, right. A dead girl or a live boy is a career ender.
Is that really a saying?
A live boy or a dead girl, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into that after the break.
Dead boy acceptable.
Nate in Jersey.
Helpful, actually.
Nate. Nate.
Nate?
Yeah, Dave.
Oh, hey. Sorry, Dave. What's up?
Dave, your name's Nate.
Yeah, Dave.
Dave, Nate.
All right, what's up, Nate?
Hey, I just wanted to say that my daughter came home with a letter the other day from school about the costumes that she was not allowed to wear. And they weren't allowed to wear anything that had blood or guts or might scare other children. These schools are ruining Halloween nowadays.
Yeah, I read about that one, too. There's some schools that were saying not only sexy clothes like that, but things that might disturb other students, might be a little too horrific for the sensitive little students. So
why do we go against nature and protect the weak always? I don't get it.
Well, that's what we're doing, and that's why we're raising a nation of weaklings, and
the Chinese are coming,
and we're doomed.
We're doomed.
The Chinese are so coming. They are so on their way to taking over the world. They're posturing for it.
Of course,
like they're not trying to do anything yet, but they're like saving up. It's like the beginning of Monopoly. They're just kind of buying everything and waiting for you to land on their hotels on the boardwalk and go, "Oh boy, how'd that happen?"
And we're just giving it to them at this point.
Yep.
You know, I thank you, Nate, because I was walking by a schoolyard yesterday on the way home, and I kind of took a peek into the schoolyard because I saw lots of costumes, right? And the thought I had as I was walking by was, these costumes are completely lame.
Yeah, they're not scary.
There's no creativity and there's no like scariness to them anymore.
I think all the costumes, the kids should be dressed like flowers. Oh, look, another daffodil.
So you can't wear anything to school that's going to scare other kids, but the whole point of Halloween is to get kind of scary.
It's a scary holiday. You're supposed to hang scary things up. God forbid, please take down your nooses.
I don't know what's going on with the school system, but they are just lost.
They're trying so hard to be
lost.
This politically correct, everyone's okay, don't offend or scare anybody. And it's just raising a bunch of wusses.
All right, let's say hi to Joe in Philly. Joe, what's up?
Hey, guys. Love you guys. Love the show.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Hey, anytime. Love it.
Yeah.
You're about to pick on poor Fatty here, but isn't it Povember?
Yeah, it is Povember. We're going to get into that.
But how do you start Povember without a little recap of Erocktober?
Well, Erocktober ended in grand fashion.
It certainly did. What a finale.
There was a major breakdown on the other side of the radio show. We're going to give you that audio today because it was just amazing, and it's a great way to just kind of wrap up the whole Erocktober thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this much. It had something to do with Justine Jolie. You might say, who's Justine Jolie? Well, she was the penthouse pet that came in, and Erock spanked her so hard that he left a really bad handprint. Everyone remembers that, right?
Oh, it was awful.
There are a lot of people out there lingering longer. They remember that.
Let me...
oh, you got the actual hit, right?
Let me play the little clip. Where's that? Right there. Oh, it looks like Speak. Oh, okay. It's Erock Spank.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is, him spanking her. She was in agony, pain. He pretty much did it closed... he did it with a closed hand. And just kind of, like, wailed her.
No, he had an open hand.
I think he hit her with
the palm. Wait,
no, he hit her with
low palm.
The hammer side.
Where'd you hit her, Erock? Low palm?
Microphone.
Yeah, he went like this. The meaty part of the hand, way down here.
Yeah, but you know your pinky, if you run it down to the hand side, that meat on the side of your hand, that kind of went.
When with the hit?
Yeah, with the hit. And it was almost a karate chop slap.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Karate chop slap. And you could hear, because it's not a sharp smack. It has a thud to it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a punch.
All right, very good. So, well, that caused problems in his personal life with his fiancée. And basically gave Erock a talking to. That he was never to be in the same studio with her or ever talk to her again.
Or look at her. Never to even look at her. That was the speech that his fiancée gave him.
And the stars aligned yesterday. The last day of Erocktober, Justine Jolie came in with some of her girlfriends to say hi to us. And and Erock was standing about 3 feet away from her. And every time she moved toward him, Erock moved away. He was doing the right thing.
Trying to, yeah.
And then we thought it would be really cool radio if Erock got his on the air live, and then there was a major breakdown.
Yeah.
So we're going to play that audio after the break, hopefully. Also, we got Dane Cook 5 minutes away. He was supposed to show up around 7:30. His plane landed early. He's going to do the show with us today. He's going to hang out, which is very, very cool. I believe he's doing 2 dates in Boston. At the old Boston Garden.
Well, he's also doing the old Madison Square Garden. I think he sold out 1 show in a pre-sale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell out Queensbury, New York. I want a rifle blast to my face. But I think he's working on his second garden show, the New York Comedy Festival. He's doing the garden here in New York.
Wow. And I believe he's doing a second show in Boston as well. He's going to promote today. And, of course, all the movies he's in. I think he's in 10 movies that are coming out in the next 4 months. Also, we got Penn from Penn and Teller coming in. Penn Jillette. And, the sound. What's the sound for today? Who has it?
Goodness.
You have it, Erock?
Erock.
All right, this is what you're listening for between 7 and 7:30 if you want to win that $1,000 today. Here it is.
I love Kennedy.
God, I forgot about that.
See?
Yesterday was so action-packed.
It was a great show yesterday, and we got to do it all over again today. Once again, this is what you're listening for.
Oh, I love Kennedy. Where is that fathead today? Is he off?
Yeah.
Gurgle.
10th caller will get the $1,000 between 7 and 7:30. Phone number 877-212-O&A. Happy Povember to everybody. Another chance to win $1,000, or at least that's when the contest will begin. Every day it's between 7 and 7:30. You're looking for a specific sound. If you hear that sound, if you're the 10th caller, you win the $1,000. And in case you don't know the sound from day to day, you can go to OandARadio.com. The sound is up there. Hey, I know that dude. Dane Cook, everyone. Hey, we're doing Battle of the Bands, bro. Grateful Dead.
Oh, is that Battle of the Bands shirts?
Battle of the Bands,
Battle of the Bands shirts. I think AC/DC would kick the Grateful Dead's ass.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
What if the Grateful Dead started passing the peace pipe around?
Oh, getting them stoned?
You get AC/DC stoned, then you got a fight on your hands.
Yeah.
You had to rub it in with the Boston Red Sox World Series championship hat, right?
We rub a little bit. That's what we do.
Get used to it. It's nice, right? You win a few in a couple of years. You do that, and then it becomes the country winds up hating you. You become it's a bought team. You'll start hearing stuff like that. Yeah.
That's like that. That's like the rough sex hate. It just feels really good.
Actually, I'm enjoying the fact that the Red Sox won the World Series. 'Cause I'm a Mets fan. I hate the Yankees. I'd rather see the Red Sox win every single time before the Yankees.
Pedro has the little fun fact, largest member in baseball, so I hear.
Really?
Wow.
From a few sources. Yeah, really? We thought Big Papi was the biggest, but no, it turns out he's fully loaded.
He's fully loaded.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if you have a name like Big Papi, you got to think.
He's not so big now. He's kind of like him.
He's probably as small as
mediocre.
Too, yeah.
Danny Bonaducci.
Danny Bonaducci.
He's probably got like 4.5. They call him Big Papi just because it's degrading on some level. That's why Randy Johnson had his nickname, the Big Unit. That was what Randy Johnson's nickname meant.
All right.
Yeah.
Jimmy brings up a good point because you had you get the big fat guys and their name is Tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hysterical when they do that in
I have a
movies.
little miniature pincher, and his name is Beast. All right, I got it.
Right.
I got it.
Jesus, how much money is Dane losing just sitting here?
He really is like Bill Gates. Like if he drops money and then bends to pick it up, he loses more money than if he keeps walking.
No. All my money's tied up in cash.
Dane's career is just amazing. Just when you think it couldn't get any better, he does all the World Series freaking spots.
I know.
Don't you think they should have aired those a few more times?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like every 2 seconds.
It was
all right, Dane, we get it. The World Series.
I would flush my own toilet and hear my voice go, "There's only one October." It was a lot.
It was very dramatic.
But the whole idea was we wanted to do this real innovative thing where we were cutting in the clips that were basically happening, day to day, game to game, and do this kind of evolving series of commercials, which I thought was really cool. But it definitely, when you're putting them on during the games and people are already watching the baseball,
yeah.
That's what starts getting it a little grating. People going, "Dude, why are you telling me this? I'm here." It's like being at a party. It's a great party, and being like, "You should come to this party." It's like, I'm in the kitchen, dude. I'm at the party. No, you got to come to the party, though, man. It's the best party in town. I'm here. I'm sitting on the couch.
Those commercials should have ran on other channels like VH1 or Lifetime, anywhere else besides
Lifetime.
Besides during the actual game.
Get the women watching rape movies.
Yeah.
Over to watch the World Series. Geez, let me think of that storyline. Woman finds bestest ever guy in the world. Friends kind of suspicious of him. She's blinded by love. He turns out to punch her in the face every day until she has to set his bed on fire and kill him, and then she gets off the hook.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Because
starring Marky Post.
Oh, because she falls in love with the investigator.
Marky Post.
Always.
Oh, yeah. It's always.
And Suzanne Pleshette.
Valerie Bertinelli in a very special Lifetime exclusive.
Can we turn the heat on in here, by the way?
Yeah,
This
Jesus.
place built on an Indian burial ground. Why am I sweating like Shaq at the foul line? Jesus.
It's
killing me.
Usually it's too cold in here, so I don't know what's going on.
I know. I'm jacket guy every day in here, and today it's baking.
Did I just see Xanadu on Broadway, and is that real, or is this...
That's real.
There's Xanadu.
Yes. Yeah, they've run out of ideas for Broadway. So.
Have they completely run out?
They obviously have.
Yeah. There has to be a theater or a few theaters doing a few Disney things at any given moment.
Right.
So they took off Beauty and the Beast to put in The Little Mermaid. Does it matter? It's a bunch of little kids with crap in their diapers sitting there just looking at the pretty colors. Does it matter if it's Beauty and the Beast or The Little Mermaid?
Well, Ariel's story really is one of great passion.
It should be brought to the stage. I don't know how they're going to pull that one off. Where she doesn't have legs.
Was there a demand for Xanadu? Was there people?
Kevin Spacey's actually starring in it.
Is he really?
No. There's rumors about Spacey.
I believe you. Oh my God.
Jimmy is such a good actor, is what it is. Jimmy's a great actor, and he fools us all the time.
We've all heard the same rumors about Spacey.
Was there a demand for Xanadu? That's a very good question that needs to be answered. So, hey, you're playing the Garden, you're playing the old Boston Garden. You're all over the joint.
Yeah, the Rough Around the Edges tour, man, starts off in Toronto at the Air Canada Center tomorrow night.
How cool is that? The Air Canada Center.
Yeah, it's
I'd
wild,
imagine
man.
there's about 400 or 500 seats in that place.
Perhaps more than that. We open Section Z.
He's doing the Air Canada Center. Every gig I do has "and restaurant" at the end of it.
Air Canada Center and restaurant.
You know you made it when you're playing a place called the Air Canada Center.
Dane actually flies into the place, into the stadium, literally, and gets off the plane, and he's there performing.
He's going to be also in D.C. on November 16th, and then there's two shows it's the TD Bank North Garden in Boston on the 17th of November, and then here in New York at the Garden on the 18th of November. And I think only one show has tickets available on that one.
Yeah, the Garden here in New York, we added another show, and those are
of course.
Yeah, we had to do a late night. It's a Sunday night too, man. It's pretty wild. So coming in,
the most amazing thing I've ever seen as far as Dane Cook goes. Jimmy and I were up in Boston for one of your shows, which was amazing. Just you on a stage. I don't know how you pull that one off, but you do every time. And then we left the place going, wow, that was just an amazing show. And they were lined up for a second show at the old Boston Garden.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
That was wild. And, that second show went
You had
really...
to turn around the Boston Garden, the old Boston Garden.
They did it like 40 minutes. Was even more incredible. I don't know how they pulled that off. But
it takes that much time just to get the drunks out of the bathroom after a show.
The stories after that show, too. I ran the light on that second show, and it ended up being I think 2 hours and 40 minutes. But what I didn't realize is that the tea and everything stops at 1 or whatever it was. People were writing me emails dude, I just slept on the street and went to work in the clothing that I went to see you in. It was just it was a cluster F at the end of that show.
Well, the union fees must have been lovely on that one.
Yeah, that was that too.
How does it feel to be the loved, hated comic amongst other comics? Because I've heard, we see a lot of comics. It's not like they hate you as a person, but they hate your career.
They hate your success.
They cannot stand your success.
I used to really, it used to kind of irk me and frustrate me because it was I'm the least controversial guy. You know what I mean? It's even when I was hanging out in New York, I'd do my gigs and I just went home and, basically, just kind of waited for the next show. I've never been involved in kind of the drama of it all. So for me, it was always I don't know, half these guys don't really know me. I just kind of deliver and get the hell out of there. But now, it's controversy is really good for business.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah. So on the way I'm looking at it, if you're one side or the other, I guess it's boring. So as long as people are chatting about you, then it helps tickets and it helps CDs and all that good stuff.
I think sometimes you get people also that want some kind of tie-in. It's like the old, I kind of knew the guy and. Maybe years ago, and then they wanted some kind of tie-in with you, so they try to create some kind of controversy.
Sure, yeah, no, and some of them are good. There's been some great slams out there. Some of them are completely ridiculous, but I still have to kind of cut them out and save them anyway in the scrapbook.
Did you see the Mad TV, the guy that did the impression of you?
I like I saw that one. I thought he was just all right, but I thought Jason did a killer job on SNL the other day.
Yeah.
I texted him after and told him that I thought it was really flattering, and I was laughing my ass off. I was like that. He really kind of had my essence, and I was sitting there. I didn't know they were going to do it either. I was just watching, and I'm like, Oh, my God, man. That's crazy.
That's got to freak you out, though, when you're watching some crap and it's like, what? Oh, they're imitating me.
Yeah, you're just hoping that he gets laughs doing you, because then that would even double suck if it's like, you're not funny, and then people doing you're not funny.
He's
So
bombing
like,
as me.
Yeah.
Somehow you somehow
if
you
I
take
had to say you
responsibility.
suck about him doing me, then what does that say about me? It's very Freudian. So I had a good laugh about it, and then got ready for the next gig.
I guess you gotta at the point you're at have some kind of sense of humor built up, because because now being in movies and then the love interest things that end up in the tabloids.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what that would be like, opening up one and go, oh, this is who I'm supposedly having sex with.
The best thing about the tabloids is, like, 98% of it is wrong, but the thing that they always get exactly right is what you were eating. They always know the foods. They always know. It's like they'll blow everything else as like, no, that wasn't a date, it was this, it was that, but it's like, yes, I had the pasta primavera. That is exactly.
They knew what I was eating, but I wasn't canoodling. I was not canoodling in a corner.
So that Jessica Simpson stuff was crap.
Jessica Simpson was like, we were just hanging out, Yeah.
You should have just said, yeah, I did her.
Well, I have to also say, yeah, it was just crap. So
yeah. He didn't deny it.
I'm not Fez here. Come on, I'm a classy guy. I grew up with 5 sisters.
You should just go back to high school, mentality there, and just say, yeah, I did her. So.
Yeah, but if you start doing that, then nobody will bang you. If
that is exactly it, Jimmy.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're
Once they
blowing
know
up.
that you kiss and tell, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta start.
So that's brilliant.
You're blowing up girls' spots, man. You don't want to do that.
Because I read that stuff, I'm like, why isn't Dane admitting this? Everybody wants to be with Jessica Simpson, but Jimmy just explained it.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
Geraldo, years later, wrote a book about everyone behind him that he did. That's fine, but when you're 50 years old, you can write a book. But when you're still hitting them, you gotta be patient. Plenty of bragging time later in your golden years.
I will write a very memorable book someday.
Speaking of bitches, when was the last time you heard from Bob Kelly?
We had him puking on the show the other day.
Was he puking again?
Oh, Bobby's great, man.
I'd love to see it. Yeah, I texted Bobby today and let him know I'm here, but he's probably sleeping after having called one of his fans and talked for 4.5 hours.
This Bobby sent me. I want to slap Bob in his face. We were at the cellar, and he showed me on MySpace how you can send somebody a text message on MySpace. But he's like, you got to enter their phone number. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Enter everyone on MySpace's number?
Oh, that's why he wanted to do. Let me tell you what Bob Kelly does, especially with you, Dane. He wanted to show me a picture during the virus tour. So he goes, and check this out. So he pulls out his phone, and before he could click the picture, he had it in his phone book contacts. And he had your name highlighted in red. So, and then he goes, check out this picture, and then clicks it, strategically leaving enough time for me to see Dane Cook in red. I go, you are just a bitch. I go, you had to let me see you have Dane's phone number in your phone. I go, it's nothing about the picture. I go, I don't even want to see the goddamn picture now. Because it wasn't your motive.
I always tell Bobby, too, it's like there's certain people I have certain contacts. You change the name just in case if anybody ever...
Right, if they find the phone.
It's like somebody, Johnny Bravo's in my... You don't know who it is, but it's like...
let's go with Jessica Simpson.
Bobby red flags me and puts me on the main page of his phone. Hey, did you guys see his wedding online? Were you all invited?
We were all at the cellar watching, it was great.
Oh, my God,
It was
dude.
too late for me. But
I called Bobby up. I said the best part of the entire thing was... it was mic'd. He had the lapel mic. Did you guys notice that? Like every time the Hawaiian, what was he, a priest or the sacrifice leader or whatever that guy was? He every time he mentioned like anything long term, like this love is forever, Bobby would put his head down and sigh into the mic. So he'd be like, he does it like 7 or 8 times, and it kills me every single time. It's like it's louder than the waves crashing. It's just Bobby going,
oh, commitment. Oh, Jesus Christ, what am I doing?
Your vows should never have ums before you speak. I love you. Want to be with you.
Forever and ever.
Shouldn't be saying what else during your vows. So what else What else you guys want to talk about?
Let me think.
But I'm really happy to those kids and their marriage circle.
It was nicer than I thought it would be. It actually came out like really nice. I wanted to tease him really badly, but it's like, it looked good.
No, it was great. And then he released Butterflies, and I said, Bobby, every cool thing you did over the last 20 years is done. When that one butterfly landed on his shoulder, and it was like a Lilliputian moment where he like picked it up and he released it into the air. I was like, you're done, dude. Every cool story is over. It's over. It's literally over.
I never heard of anyone releasing butterflies.
You didn't get there? You didn't get to the part where at the end the box opens and 100 butterflies comes out and magic
he told us
goes through the air?
He told us he had to freeze the butterflies to make sure they were going to survive the ceremony.
Oh, no.
And so they weren't completely thawed out, so a few of them were like...
Yeah, a few just kind of hit the ground.
Yeah, hit the ground, went flop to the sand.
Throws them up in the air, there's 100 dead little things. Normally with Bob, you see them on the Discovery Channel. He's on his hands and knees, the butterflies on his back, and he's swatting at them with his tail. That idiot, trying to be dramatic.
Yeah, he's a
good luck to those kids.
And number one comedy in America, Dan in Real Life. I saw the commercial yesterday. They're like the number one comedy in America.
Yeah, it's a nice movie, man. It really is. Steve Carell is just that guy is unbelievable. Really funny and just got the chops too, acting wise.
You know what's odd though, and we were talking to him the other day. The whole thing where he was on the Daily Show, for quite a while, and then all of a sudden I'm watching the TV and I hear Steve Carell in an Oscar-worthy performance with that dramatic guy voice and everything. And I'm like, what the? Steve Carell?
Right.
Oscar-worthy performance?
Yeah, no.
And I guess so.
No, man. He's the thing about Steve. He's admittedly too like the sweatiest human being on earth. He's one of those guys that like he's fine, everything's good. We were filming in Rhode Island. It was actually kind of cold, and then like if there was any kind of glitch or whatever, like something we had to cut, it was like he was just immediately drenched. And he would have to be, like they had an amazing chamois that they would just put on him and
dry him up.
That is horrible because believe me, not even trying to make any kind of
we're in showbiz
thing.
too, Dan.
Showbiz comparisons here.
Yeah, like the new digs here.
This is great. The new digs over at the other place are even better. But when you're filming something and sweating, and you got to stand there because the shirt you're wearing, just any drop that comes from anywhere looks like it just turns into a huge puddle.
Yeah,
I don't know how people do it in movies or over any length of time.
Well, we couldn't move because if the shirt hit our skin, it would just
turn. It would
spot.
Yeah, it would be a huge wet spot.
Stand like frozen in between takes.
I guess you have to be good and confident in what you're doing so you don't sweat.
I'll out myself. The only procedure I've ever done in my life, a few years ago, I was told that you could do these injections under your armpit that would stop you from sweating. And I'm not like I don't sweat profusely, but still, I was going to this thing and I'm like, it'd be great to not sweat. So I went and I had the injections done under both. Yeah, I had it done under both my pits. Took like 10 minutes. The guy just went in there and like did 3 shots. Now here's the best part. I didn't sweat for 5 months there, so I would have a dry spot here and basically sweat around it.
Oh, no.
I'm not even kidding, man. It worked unbelievably. No
had to
sweating.
find another way out, I guess. It's something to do with Botox, I believe.
Yeah. It was 3 Botox under each pit. It was ridiculous. I should never have done it, but no, I didn't sweat for half a year.
I know a comic who he sweats so much he wears a shirt. He'll wear a short sleeve shirt and a t-shirt under it. And I've seen him lift his arms. And I've seen folded napkins. And I'm just like, what a hell he lives in. Just so stuff.
And how is Godfrey?
No, Godfrey's not the white guy.
Hey, we have to take a break. What's your deal? Can you stay?
Yeah, I'm hanging out.
All right, because I heard you have a busy day today.
I do.
You can hang for another 20 minutes. Great. We got Dane Cook in studio. What's the big plug, Dane?
Rough Around the Edges, new comedy CD since Retaliation. It comes out November 13th. Me and Celine Dion going toe-to-toe. DC versus CD. I'm funnier.
Toe to camel toe.
Yeah. It's Opie and Anthony. More with Dane Cook in just a bit. If you want, we're hanging today. We got a very busy show. It's Opie and Anthony. Commercials kind of get in the way sometimes of the hang.
Yeah.
Dane Cook was telling us some great, interesting stories during the break, and now we got to kind of, recapture the moment.
Impossible.
I know it's impossible.
It never works right.
But, whoa, hey.
Wow.
Penn Jillette.
Hey, Penn.
There he is.
Hey there, man.
How are you doing?
What's going on, man?
What's up, Penn?
How you doing, dude?
How you doing?
What's happening?
Dane Cook? Yeah, of course. Opie. What's up, sir?
Hey, man.
You can sit and hang, man.
Just sit on the.
We just make up this crap as we go along. We're
Couch
talking
of
to Dane
honor.
Cook. We were talking about the World Series, and he said that this one doesn't really compare to the 2004. He's even admitting it.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, 04 was just, you felt like that. We all felt like we were on the field during that game, whether you're watching it there. I was there. I actually went with my pop, and I was telling you guys that.
Dane, you were on the field.
No, I didn't actually.
Allowed, and
I didn't run down on the.
I think you were on the official Red Sox roster at this point.
But yeah, so I did those.
Never say no to this guy.
I did those spots, and when they came back and said, what do you want? I said, I just want the seats that me and my dad sat in for the World Series. I lost my pop this year, so it was lost him in the mall. I just haven't found him yet. So yeah, that was basically working for seats at that point. So I got the Busch Stadium seats, which
the
was
actual
pretty...
seats that he sat in with his dad.
Well, that's what they told me. Anyway, they might have slapped another number.
Oh, they better not.
Yeah, they're like, God, just give
If
them.
they were just two fold-out chairs or something.
Yeah, with a Cardinals logo stuck in the back. Yeah.
And you said that was the only time you saw your dad get really excited and jump up and down like crazy, right?
Yeah, my dad was like one of those guys that, he was like, he built the old school. He was like, his original big, his hands were like, the rock creature from Neverending Story. He was just, all work all the time. And, when they finally won the game, it was like, I hadn't seen my dad ever, do more than like a fist pump. And he was jumping like he was on a trampoline with like, he was using high voice. He was like, I'm here! This is the best! So, yeah, it was a great day, man. Very memorable.
It's always awkward when your dad does something for like the first time, like later in your life, like maybe as a kid, whatever, but I remember the first time I saw my dad cry, we were watching Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
and I was sitting next to him. It was a movie he wanted to see. I didn't want to see that crap.
Your dad.
I didn't want to see that crap, but he did. He's he was brought up, hardcore religion.
I didn't know there was going to be that kind of humiliation on this show. It's like so much more hardcore than I was ready for.
That was horrible.
You're watching your dad cry at the Passion of the Christ.
It's an interesting
I'm
thing,
trying to think,
because...
when did my dad die? Cry at a Jew dying. When did he care? Did he ever care about a Jew getting beaten? I'm thinking, no. I'm going back and kind of, no.
But the point
There's
is...
no kind of warm moment with my dad dying, crying in a racist movie.
I'm not getting...
a drunk made a movie. My dad just kept crying and crying and crying. This Jew-hating drunk's making a movie, and Dad's just sobbing.
But I'm not even going for the warm moment. Like, he cried for the first time at Passion of the Christ, and I looked at him like, this is kind of awkward.
It is awkward.
Like, I don't know what to do. Like, do you start, like, comforting your dad and going, it's going to be okay?
Don't you say everything on the radio, maybe?
The first time I ever...
something bad. Jesus.
Hell no.
Some goddamn dignity, for Christ's sake.
That movie was actually the first time I saw my father laugh.
You killed me, man. That's where I was going.
Seeing a Jew getting whipped, that's funny.
Yeah, me and my dad just elbowed each other. We kind
great,
of made eye contact. And
Christ is going down. Then he jumped in the air like I'd never seen him before, when Christ died. Just both feet in the air, both hands pumping, high voice. Whoa! Christ is dead. It was great. Wonderful moment with my dad.
I'm trying to think of the first time I saw my dad cry. Let's think about the first time.
All right, yeah, let's go around the room.
And De Niro beat that guy with the phone in Goodfellas. My dad cried.
Maury's wigs.
When Maury was, he wanted his money.
Maury's wigs.
Jim, you ever see your dad cry there? Yeah. Or the first time? Do you remember?
When he realized that RuPaul was actually a tranny.
That'll do it.
My dad was an emotional guy. He
Was
still
he?
is. I said was.
Really?
Is. Yeah, he's an emotional
we
guy.
wanted to tell you something. Your dad did just die during that sentence. When you used the wrong
embarrassment.
Dad's dead.
At least he saw me skyrocket to mediocrity. He's an emotional guy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that confirms the atheist.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
You don't have to be atheist to laugh at Christ dying. Now, don't have all these misconceptions. Anyone can laugh at Christ dying.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can.
You ever have run-ins with that Bill Donahue guy?
Yeah, well, you guys were like sucking up to him, right?
We had a run-in. He got us fired.
He's right. He did. Giving him that much power is just so disgusting.
And he comes
he's
on.
a guy that runs out of his basement. It's like nobody. You know, the Catholics have someone who speaks for them. It's a guy with a hat. That's the guy they have. This is another guy who doesn't speak for Catholics, just claims to. And you guys are like, sucking up to him.
No, that's not true. No, we weren't. We originally had him on to attack him. That's
and
why
he
we
was
had
such a nice guy.
But no, he
such
was
a smart guy, a sweet guy who said Trey Parker and Matt Stone should die. That's kind of nice guy.
I'm talking about the way he dealt with us. What he said about them is up to him. I'm telling what he dealt with us is that he admitted, hey, look, you guys. They said you guys did something in the church. I didn't see it. I'm the head of the Catholic League. What do you want me to do? He was honest, at least with us, about the situation he dealt with us. So I'm not going to be a phony and attack him just on the principle of attacking him. That's why we originally had him on the show, was to attack him, but then he turned out to be okay. And it's like, what am I going to do?
How does he be okay when he does?
He was honest about it. As far as a religious leader or any type of leader like that, those guys are usually awful. And at least he admitted that he had heard the broadcast.
Inappropriate for him to fake that he had an organization to try to get you thrown off the air when you did nothing wrong?
He didn't use those words.
Okay.
Unfortunately, his fake organization had a lot of power with the big boys upstairs.
I think that has gone away.
That's the unfortunate part.
I think he's kind of gone a little, even a little nutty, even for them now.
A lot of the organizations have fake power. They have that, like you said, in a basement with a little letterhead. They send it out, and these corporations get scared because they think there's an organization that's ready to rally thousands of people.
That's how I built my whole career.
I don't know. It's got to be in the tens of people.
In the tens. It's dozens of people.
I have no idea, but they're so scared of boycotts. Corporations that on the threat of a boycott, they'll just fire people. I think they should wait and see how many people actually show up. And if it's more people than the listeners or viewers, then you have a point. Yeah. But other than that, well,
we're trying to get pretty safe saying that. When has it been more people than the listeners in history, the boycott?
Never.
Yeah, I think by definition,
never.
The boycott can be that big.
Well, why don't you try to explain that to the guys once again upstairs? That for some reason
getting religious again.
Yeah,
the man upstairs.
For some reason, the suits cower to the special interest groups. It amazes us.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Because Anthony says a lot on the show. Let's play this through and see what a boycott can actually do. To a radio show, especially.
Let's. Okay, we'll defend Dog the Bounty Hunter.
All right. Wow. Anybody with a mullet can drop the N-bomb as often as they want.
Have you heard about Dog the Bounty Hunter? Anyone?
Just fill me in. What he
was
wow. You really? Have you heard yet?
I just read the headline. That's all I read.
Oh, did he? Well,
I guess his son is going out with a black girl.
Black girl, yeah.
And he's not happy about that. And there was a little voicemail that he left on his son's machine.
Yeah.
And I guess the son is not a good son because it seems like it got into the hands of the National Enquirer.
It seems the dog loves the N-bomb.
That's
loves
it. That's really as bad as talking about your dad dying, crying at the Passion of Christ. A little like that.
It is amazing though, like the fact that this guy, he's an ex-convict who's a bounty hunter. It's like, all right, he is what he is, but people actually care that he says it. It's like, I don't care what he said to his son.
There's the first defense.
Yeah, who cares? Big deal. Let him say it.
Did you hear the tape?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
It's a biggie.
Just so you know, there's no defense in this voice. Just so people listening should listen to this voice and say, hey, he didn't defend him at all, did he? Just keep that very clear.
Well, here's the actual voicemail, I guess, right? Listen to this.
You're going to play it?
Well, it's heavily beeped. Oh, yeah. Wish we could just play it.
Say the N-word on the radio anymore. Are you crazy?
I'm not taking a chance on some. I don't care if she's a Mexican, a whore, whatever. It's not because she's black.
What about the whores?
We use the word sometimes here. I'm not going to take a chance ever in life of losing everything I've worked for 30 years because some heard us say and turned us into the Enquirer magazine. Our career is over. I'm not taking that chance at all.
Yes, you are.
Never in life. Never.
Oops.
Never. If Lisa was dating, we would all say you. And you know that.
A little rough to follow with the bleeps, but you get the idea.
You can fit it in. Every bleep is the N-bomb.
Yeah. So. Well, no, there were some that were...
the F, yeah.
It was a verb at one point, an adjective.
Yeah.
It was a verb.
It was a verb, and I think the second instance... He is so done. And how he's saying, like, that'll never happen. I'm never going to let it happen as I'm letting it happen right now.
He's making it happen. Don't email it, stupid. Then just say you were hacked into.
You got the defense already, don't you?
Of course. So you think the girlfriend got a hold of that?
Well, either that or the son was pretty outraged that his father was telling him to break up with this girl because they dropped the M-bomb around the house a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
And, the son, probably in love, was pissed at his father.
It's going to be a great Thanksgiving at the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Great Thanksgiving, yeah.
Oh.
Well, we got I didn't get that invitation.
Yeah, we got the dog explain why he uses the N-word. Here it is.
All right.
If Lisa brought a black guy home, it's not that they're black. It's none of that. It's that we use the word. We don't mean you scum without a soul. We don't mean that. But America would think we mean that. We're not taking a chance.
Well,
let's join America thinking that.
That's exactly what
he wanted to go, dog.
No, he wanted me. He got me back.
Yeah, the last part of the explanation just made it all like okay. Like,
yeah, it brings it together.
Plugged your show at that point because I would have tuned in.
Meaning that. And we're not taking a chance on losing everything we got over a racial slur because our son goes with the girl like that. I can't do that, Tucker. You can't expect Gary, Bonnie, Cecily, all them young kids to, because I'm in love for 7 months. That. So I'll help you get another job, but you cannot work here unless you break up with her and she's out of your life. I can't handle that.
Wow, I didn't hear this part.
Oh, yeah. That's that's the son then going, all right.
Yeah, now it's
here you
obvious
go,
what
Pops.
happened. Yeah, all right. Well,
done.
Look what I do now.
Wow.
And then finally, dog says his son can't work for him unless he leaves the girl.
Teresa told that girl never to come by her house again because I told Dwayne the same thing. And I'm going to have your wife hanging around with that girl. You're not working for Dog the Bounty Hunter. Dwayne called this morning and Teresa and said we are not hanging around with that girl. So just like Dwayne Lee, just like you, if you hang with that black girl, I do not want you in my house because it's already been proven that you run your mouth to her. That's it right there. So you just let me know. I got to go. What you're going to do later. Bye.
Yeah. Talk to you later, all right?
That's a wonderful father right there. Huh?
Yeah, ouch.
Wow, I don't know who's worse, the father or the son for selling the...
I imagine Dog the Bounty Hunter doesn't cry when he watches Passion of the Christ.
I imagine he does. That sounds like a guy who does.
There's probably a few movies he does cry at, though.
Yeah, Roots, because it got better. He hates the next generation. Right. All communist propaganda.
There's probably a few he actually sheds a tear over. So what do you think of that, huh?
He's done. A&E suspended the production of the show.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They put out a statement saying they will investigate.
Right after we asked for the hypothetical situation, we have it. More people will boycott that than watched it.
Yeah, probably.
You asked for hypothetical and got a reality. It's good.
Yeah. Well, now I guess Roy Innes came out and said that he's, regardless of what he thinks he is, he's on television, so he's a role model. And I don't know what kind of role model he was before this clip came out. I didn't see much there except for a big blonde mullet and a huge obese wife. But he was a role model, so Roy Innes said he should be taken off the air.
Roy Innes is fairly conservative, from core. But they're not typically like sharped in or screaming for anything racial to be taken off the air.
He's already scrambling to apologize. His apology was ridiculous.
He's trying to find a bunch of black friends to start hanging out with.
Yeah.
He's got Byron Allen fighting for him.
He's eating dinner at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles tonight.
Hey, Stephen S. from Bayshore, he writes, Dog the Noose Knotter instead of Dog the Bounty Hunter. Hey, where's the apology?
I don't know. We haven't.
Waddle doodle. Apologize.
I like the way he referred to himself as in the third person with his nickname in there, too.
Yeah.
He plugged the name of the show.
Yeah. In a statement, the 54-year-old Chapman said he has the utmost respect and aloha for black people who have suffered so much due to racial discrimination and acts of hatred. I did not mean to add yet another slap in the face of an entire race of people who have brought so many gifts to the world, he said. I am ashamed of myself, and I pledge to do whatever I can to repair this damage I have caused. Chapman said, my sincerest heartfelt apologies go out to every person I have offended for my regrettable use of very inappropriate language. I'm deeply disappointed in myself for speaking out of anger to my son and using such hateful terms. And here it is. In a private phone conversation. Apology down the crapper. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, not as sincere when you say, hey, no one was supposed to hear this, Norton.
Sorry, I made the tattletale.
Yeah. That pretty much blew the entire apology that someone wrote for him.
Like an entire publicist statement, then he's like, I just added something at the end.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Pulling the hair out.
Perfect. I just added a line.
Don't worry about it. It's going to be good, though. I added one line.
I'm terribly sorry.
I think it's really going to help me out.
Oh.
Yeah, this one's going to get me out of the jam up.
I'm sorry I've offended a whole race of people, and then he penciled in, even though we told him not to date one.
How many times have we been handed stuff like that? We're like, we would never say this in this way.
A statement.
A statement.
In a private phone conversation. And then Chapman said the clip was taken out of context. What context? He's got a son. He doesn't want going out with a black chick because they drop the N-bomb all the time, and he didn't want the Inquirer getting a hold of it. So she did, and the Inquirer got a hold of it.
There is context.
There's pure context.
Yeah.
It's all context.
It's all context. Yeah.
Well, we adjusted the theme song for Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's quick. Here we go.
Yeah. Now, wait a minute.
No.
What happened?
Ozzy?
Yes.
I'll like share.
They don't say that in the theme song, do they? I remember that.
Well, we're just trying to save his show. I mean, you just got to change the theme song a little bit. He's done.
But it's frightening. Like,
so done.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it really is. It sounds bad, but I don't know why anybody cares what a guy does in his personal life when he's not like his show is that he catches criminals at gunpoint. I know they do, but it's like, why would anybody care?
Yeah,
A&E cares because they're representing the net. He's representing the network. A lot of people are saying he's a bounty hunter in Hawaii, which is like, you know, give him 1 day in the Brooklyn and or the Bronx, and he'd be dead.
Oh, is that where the show is?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
it's based in Hawaii.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
He also said, I was disappointed in the choice of a friend, not due to her race, but her character, he said. However, I should never have used that term.
Repeatedly. Every part of speech.
Used it more than Michael Richards, I think.
I think he did. Chapman said he's meeting with his spiritual advisor, Reverend Tim Story, who is black.
Yeah.
And hopes to meet with other black leaders, so, as he says, so they can see who I really am and teach me the right thing to do to make things right again.
I think
in a private conversation.
Of course. In another private conversation.
They'll teach him the right thing to do. Just give up your show and go away.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Jimmy the Greek. You're done.
Sounds a bit desperate.
I know that all my fans are deeply disappointed in me, as well as I have tried to be a model for doing the right thing. He said, I did not do the right thing this time and hope you will forgive me. He's looking for his forgiveness.
What we worry is that maybe some of his fans aren't appalled by this.
I would assume
that's the biggest horror.
His entire demo.
I'm not sure the entire demo, but there is a fan or two that went, yeah, and that's what A&E's worried about, I bet.
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with the entire demo. Okay. They're going to really go with that
no mitigation whatsoever.
Right, not a 1.
All right, we got to take another break here. So, staying? Going?
Yep.
Dane's good. Awesome. Dane Cook staying. We got Penn Jillette. Where's Teller?
I heard. Yeah, we heard about
something
that.
stupid that radio guys actually make believe tellers sitting next to you the whole time.
Well, no, it's better than that. They'll say, like, and I used to do morning radio when we were touring. Now we're in Vegas all the time. I don't do much of it.
I actually liked your radio show. They played it here in New York,
Okay,
and I listened all the time.
Well, thank you so much.
You're a very interesting guy.
But I would do that, every morning. I'd have to get up at like 4 in the morning after flying in at 2 and do morning radio to pimp my stupid show, And I mean, really, 1 out of 10 times, a really high amount, the guy would come in and go, I was in the shower, Penn, this morning, and I get this idea, Teller doesn't talk. So let's say he's in the studio, and then you just, I'll ask him questions. You just kind of play along with me, okay? And that was okay. What do I care? I'm half asleep. But then he would do this thing that was just so infuriating. And they all would do it. He would go, so I got Teller in the studio here. I want to ask him a few questions. So, Teller, what do you like being on the road? How do you like it? And he would hold his hand out and make the shh sound to me.
Yeah.
Because maybe I forgot the gag.
Don't
maybe
blow
I
it.
forgot. And I've been sitting next to this guy doesn't talk. So he'd hold his hand out. And then I would go, and this is the thing, they're always going to win. They're always going to win. Because they would do this, and then I would go, first of all, Teller's not here. And why are you holding your hand out to be quiet? What kind of bit this is? And then I would feel like, I've kind of won this round. Then they'd go, oh, busted me too. What a debunker. Then you kind of go, okay, I'm still dirty. You can't win. But they would do it over and over
really
again.
funny.
It would be all the time. I get a great idea in the shower. Let's have Teller not talk. So you can do that if you want, but be careful because I might forget that he hasn't talked for 33 years.
Hey, I got to get this in.
Please start.
All right.
Oh, wow. Only 2 minutes before.
Yeah, someone's going to win $1,000 for that. And after the break, more with Penn Jillette. Big fans of the BS show there.
Oh, thank you.
Can't say it on the radio, but
unfortunately.
It's a great show on Showtime.
Well, thank you.
And we got to get your angle on David Copperfield. We're having a lot of fun with him.
Yeah, well, my friend talked about it a lot in the Inquirer, but
I love how he
she
just
spilled the beans a lot on that. I'm sorry, but
whisks girls off to Rape Island. That's
we'll
wonderful.
get into that and more with Dane Cook. Very busy show. It's Opie and Anthony. Hey, we got a busy one today. It's Opie and Anthony. Want to congratulate Sean. He's from Indiana. I don't know what radio station.
Sean. I want to hear this conversation.
I know, really fast.
Holy Jesus.
I just want the people to stop calling. Sean from Indiana won the latest $1,000. I don't know what station he's listening on, but he's listening to one of our affiliates. We're not on in Indiana, so he figured it out.
No.
All right, we'll have the sound you got to listen for tomorrow in a few minutes here, I think. What was going on, Anthony, over there?
I don't know. A little discussion going on.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah, Penn and Jimmy.
Disagreeing on.
I was saying that
on everything.
That Bill Donahue
on everything.
I was saying that Bill Donahue, you felt treated you well, and I'm saying that's not all he should be judged on.
I agree with you on that, but I didn't say he treated us well. I didn't say I'd love to hold him. I said I felt differently about him after having spoken to him. And after hearing his rationale, after having spoken to him, compared to other special interest people who are all the same, I felt differently about Donahue after having spoken to him.
And he runs the Catholic League for people that really don't know out there. And he was instrumental in getting us fired. And for some reason, we kind of get along with him now, which I don't understand myself sometimes.
And there's no motive for us to get along with him because we started talking to him not to get back on radio long before we were on XM, and we had him call in just to hate his guts and to trash him for something else he was taking a stand on.
It's certainly true that there are people that you can have philosophical differences with that you can lubricate socially with. You can get through. But I think that there are some moral problems with him that you shouldn't forget. While you're getting along with him, while you're being nice, while you're stroking him and so on, you should remember certain things.
Like what?
I think that the things he said about Trey Parker, Matt Stone, Bill Maher, I think those are things that...
Well, Bill, look what Bill Maher said. I mean, what's the problem with him saying that? Bill Maher was saying things about our soldiers, which is fine. I got no problem with Bill Maher saying that. So what's the problem if he says
but you're very... It's very important that you point out the differences you have with Bill Maher, and it's important you point out the differences you have with Bill Donahue. As a matter of fact, anybody...
Which we have,
Bill,
by the way.
Yeah.
We have pointed out the differences.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That was my entire point.
And then he makes us laugh.
Should also make that clear.
He goes, "What do I know? I just drink a lot at an Irish bar." And then you have to laugh at that, and you're like, you forget that you don't like the guy.
Yeah, but you're saying that we didn't point that out, which is how the relationship with him started. We certainly did point that out. We did talk about it.
Then I'm wrong.
Okay.
Really?
No. Somehow
I was just going from what you said right here. I didn't hear the whole other conversation.
Yeah, we've had many conversations.
Yeah, no, that's good. As long as you're still pointing that out and not turning around entirely, I have no problem with it. There's no problem with being a nice guy. We had him on our show. And he was, I was not there during the shoot, but the crew didn't say, he threw things at them and treated them terribly. I imagine I'd get along with him fine. We do have moral differences. He points them out, and so will I. Yeah, that's all.
I think also you two were discussing the you can't really determine somebody just by how they treat you.
Well, that becomes more and more important when you have the power of the microphone. People will treat you better because they know you might be on the radio tomorrow too.
Yeah, but they'll also treat you worse if they know they're being heard. I mean, it's
sure.
I judge people basically on how they treat me and how I deal with them, because that's what my experience is with them. I mean, and then you raise the point of, well, Manson didn't do anything to you, and it's like, oh, of course. I mean,
I only said Manson because I didn't want to go to Hitler yet.
Well, can I?
That was the only reason. I thought maybe I could wait 3 minutes to go to Hitler.
Can I bring up a great point as far as Jimmy? He how people treat him. He was a huge Yankee fan, and Dirk Jeter blew him off for a picture. He absolutely despises the Yankees now.
Well, the guys
and using your philosophy, Dirk Jeter has done a lot of charity, and you got to look at his body of work, and he seems like a pretty good guy in general. But because Jimmy got blown off for a picture, now he absolutely hates the Yankees.
39 years old, and I'm reacting like a baby. I was very upset, but I did acknowledge the guy does a tremendous amount of charity work. He's the best shortstop the Yankees. But I understand all that. But to me, he was a dick, so I hate his guts.
I think this show is becoming much too well-rounded. I don't think you can really get anybody listening when you kind of go, well, I see both sides of everything. He's not a bad guy.
No, I'm amazed. I'm amazed to this day that Jimmy hates the Yankees just because Derek Jeter blew him off for a picture.
And the rest of the guys I met, I didn't like either, though. None of them were really cool that night. I mean, none of them were. You know who was? Giambi. He was the only one that you could tease. He was kind of a douche. They were all aloof and kind of douche.
Yeah, you're making a very big mistake here. You're making eye contact with me while talking sports, which means that I kind of get a nod and act like I know things guys know. I'm terrible about that. I mean, anything kind of.
But you must have played basketball back.
I never watched a sporting event.
No. Why? What's?
I just never gotten around to it. I know they're wonderful and people love them. It's just it never happened.
You never got into sports at all?
Never. Isn't that horrible? That's terrible. So when he's looking at me like I'm supposed to recognize the names of people on baseball teams, I just feel like I'm lying to him.
So you don't even know who Derek Jeter is?
Well, I do. I do know that he's a famous person that plays sport. Do I get any credit for that at all? And I've got it from context that it's baseball and Yankees. I've gotten all that.
So while you were growing up, everyone else was like playing sports and looking at sporting events on TV. What were you doing?
It's horrible stuff. Reading. Stuff like that. I was
reading up on Harry Houdini.
I was the biggest outcast possible in that way. I mean, you wouldn't have. You might have liked me even less then.
Were you? I don't dislike you now, but I read and played sports. I didn't just watch sports all day and then loop it.
No, I wasn't saying anything bad about it. I was very careful.
Words on the page.
I was very careful to not say anything about sports-loving people.
I'm saying, it's like you can do both. You
can do both. Yes, I'm sure.
I'm not saying I'm the most well-read gentleman, but I mean. I don't think I watched baseball and had Down syndrome.
No, I didn't say that. I was nothing. I was saying it was total inadequacy on my part. I know that Richard Feynman played third base for a very famous team.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, me neither.
No, I no clue. All right. Okay. It's Penn Jillette, of course, from his show on Showtime.
I was more into my microscopes and telescopes as a kid than sports. I didn't play sports.
Did you watch sports? That's
no.
You didn't have a team growing up?
No.
I got him.
Like my father took me to a Jet game or something like that. But it was at Shea Stadium. Let me date myself.
My brother had
I didn't.
A Farrah Fawcett poster I stared at for about 3 years.
Yeah.
So I tapped out from 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah. Like sports took a backseat to everything. It was girls. It was just anything. And then smoking pot. Once I started smoking a little bit of pot in my adolescence, thank you, Joe, my brother, had to hide. I was into model rocketry and everything, and he had to hide his pot in my model rockets. So I found a joint and decided, let me see what this is all about, and smoked it, and that pretty much took care of about 8 years of my life.
That took care of that's
a fog.
That took care of 8 hobbies.
Yeah, that was it.
No more hobbies.
No sports, no nothing. Just I need more pot.
Got to get my weed.
Ugh.
I was trying to invent more ways to masturbate. I was like, really like, I think the furthest I went was right into a Prel bottle.
Jeez, that'll sting you. That'll sting.
Yeah,
you gotta watch.
You
do live and learn.
Hey, David Copperfield, we got to ask you about him there, Penn.
Never raped me. We spent time together. Never raped me. He was always a gentleman. Never had to force himself on me. That's all I can tell you. I was willing in everything I did with David.
I went and saw his show in Vegas the last time we had to do some stuff out there. I hated it.
Yeah.
It was so freaking hacky. I'm like, is this guy going to update his stuff or what?
Doesn't have to.
I haven't seen his show.
But he's selling out still every day.
I don't
in Vegas,
believe that's literally true, but he's doing well.
He's doing well.
He's selling out every show. I'll tell you why. Because I think it was the MGM, whatever hotel Copperfield was in, and they said a prime seats just released.
Yeah.
Which when that sign is made,
really?
Yeah, it was but it was a made sign. They didn't just jot it down.
But you got all these new guys that have really updated the whole presentation. And he's still doing the same stuff that he was doing in the 80s. What? Oh, Dane's got to leave for a while?
I'm going to split for a few.
All right, Dane Cook is doing some phoners for other radio shows or something. And Bob Kelly's here. Wow, this is a crazy day.
Guy.
All right,
Bob won't
of
come in.
course, Bob's here.
Dane will be joining
Why
the show
did they hold up a note instead of Dane saying, I'm going to leave now?
Well, because he didn't know he had to leave.
Oh, okay,
He didn't
okay.
want to be rude.
Yeah, because then it looks like he's not approving of what we're talking about and just leaving.
Probably isn't.
Because that has happened in the past, too, with some of our guests. No, he's just leaving to do other things. He's that
Good,
busy.
though. Now I could turn around without having my back to Dane.
Yeah, you were in an awkward position.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm kind of in between. The studio's not set up for more than one guest. I don't know. At least the
Well,
couch
get
is
used
comfy.
to it because you guys are superstars. There'll be like 15 guests at a time now.
Yeah, well, today. Jesus Christ.
When it rains and pours with guests.
What do you think of the new breed of young magicians out there?
I don't know. Well, I like Chris. You know, we know Chris.
Yeah.
We know Chris forever, and I guess that's when you talk about the new breed of magicians that are out there. You're talking about one guy.
Yeah.
It's not like there's like 500 cool magicians. There's like zero. You know, there's like one guy, and you know, Chris Angel is the coolest and the best looking in a pool that includes me, Teller, Copperfield, Siegfried, and Roy. You're the best looking and the hippest in that group. I don't think you're saying jack, really.
Yeah, he's getting action as a magician.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good guy. Chris is
Yeah, we've had him on the show a couple of
nothing
times.
you can say bad about Chris. He's
been
a
nice.
good guy, and he's really nice, and he's really
We like
hardworking,
his stuff.
and he's been around forever.
You know what, though? Until I hear your opinion on people, I just don't know what to think. It's either, you know, that's the guy's cool. So now I know he's cool with you. But there are some people it's like, oh, this son of a bitch. Let me tell you exactly how he does every trick.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
How do you determine
Very
like
hard.
whose spot you're going to blow up?
It's how baseball players treat me.
Really?
That's how I make all my decisions, basically. If they'll sign a picture, I love Chris Angel. I went up to him and asked him for an autograph, and he was kind and sweet and signed it, so now I'm a Yankees fan forever.
Oh, good.
So now you're not going to tell us how he moved that tree in Vegas, right?
Oh, he moved a tree in Vegas?
Yeah.
I haven't watched all the programs I should have.
Yeah, he
Would you say
look
he's the
like a real tree.
Would you say he's the most creative guy? Like, because you guys have a whole, like, you guys look at each other probably the way comedians look at each other. Is there like, who do you think is the most creative guy in the field right now?
You know, there really hasn't been. David Blaine's first special, Street Magic, changed the entire way magic was done because he pointed the camera at the people watching it, and no one had thought of that before. And it was absolutely brilliant. So his magic, you know, and it's so hard to say this stuff without sounding snotty. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. His magic did not change very much, but his way of presenting it changed the entire world. It's the best magic special ever done, was Street Magic by David Blaine. Not because of what he did, but because of the way they shot it, which changed everything. And it just absolutely blew our minds. And then Chris has kind of taken that point of view of how to do that stuff and just done it a lot more. He's just much more prolific than David Blaine. And I think perhaps a little easier going so he can get more done. So that whole style of having the magic not matter whether you're using camera tricks, not matter what how you're doing it, but just matter how excited the people are is a huge change, and one that we've never done. We've never really moved into that.
His publicity stunts suck, though, man. Come on,
Chris or
David Blaine.
Well, yeah, of course. I said,
and I don't understand that.
I was very clear. One special he did great.
But every year, this city here in New York, obviously, lets him do another dumb thing that is like, who gives a crap?
Yeah. He started doing this thing, which I'm making this up. I don't know that it's true, but he started announcing stunts that he doesn't do. And then I guess he's hoping that we'll think that he did it. Like he's announced he was going to jump out of an airplane at a higher height than ever. He announced he was going to hold his breath longer than ever. Didn't do either of those things. And the last thing, you can find this on the web if you look, he announced he was going to live alone with wild animals.
I read that one.
And I love the fact that he stressed it was alone and then never really talked about how we were going to know about it. Because I think that's like the hippest kind of performance art, as absolutely cool as possible. If David Blaine just went without anybody seeing it or taping it or anything and went and lived with wild animals, because that worked so well for Roy.
It's kind of brilliant, though.
Yeah, it really is cool. If he does it that way, it's real hit.
Yeah. I think we got to start doing that. Just start talking about the things we're going to do on our radio
going to do.
Yeah, and he's done that. There's a few others I can't think
That's
of.
pretty
that was
funny.
really cool. He just kind of announces it, and then, people go, you couldn't possibly do that. I guess he goes home and goes, oh, yeah, I guess if I fall off an airplane, I'll break myself.
Do you ever see anything, a trick or illusion that you don't know how it's done?
Yeah, that happens once in a while.
Yeah? Does it just piss you off and go, does it bug you? Do you sit there toiling?
Not at all. What's most interesting was my wife was watching Chris Angel's show, and I was walking through, and I hadn't seen any of the trick, and I had no idea what the setup was or anything. And my wife's watching, she's like, she's going, this is amazing. And I turned, and I saw the screen for, I think, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and I went, twins, and then walked up into my office. And I heard my wife going, it's just twins. It's just twins.
You just wreck it.
And she was kind of bummed. That was the last time she watched me.
But that stuff pisses me off, because when you find out how the trick's done and you're like, it was that simple?
Well, that's why
because you're racking your brain.
Well, the thing is that many of the tricks aren't that simple. There's very few you can walk through and say, 45-degree angle mirror. But when you can, it's really funny. And really
what I like about magic is trying to figure out how it's done. I'm a big fan of that. And Fast Eddie's a magician friend of mine. He does
close up, right?
He does a lot of really his hands are just amazing with the stuff he can do.
Magic is a goofy field because the really cool stuff all happens in close up.
It's amazing what some of these guys could do close up. Like, how did you turn the dollar bill into 100 right in front of my eyes? But I blow up everyone's spot because I need to know how it's done, and people get mad. Why would you do that? It's like, because that's what is interesting to me, is to try to figure out how this is actually done.
That is the huge that is the huge difference that we have in magic that other people don't. Copperfield and Henning, more Henning started at Doug Henning, was this put away your disbelief, put away your skepticism, just come on a magic journey with me. If you're doing that, then it's just special effects. The idea of magic is not willing. The willing suspension of disbelief. It's the unwilling suspension. And so we love people to come to our show with a chip on their shoulder. We want them to know it's a trick. The people that walk the line and go, maybe it's a trick, maybe it's not, what do we know? I just find that stuff to be intellectually uninteresting because we know you're lying. You know it right away. How stupid do you think we are? So the idea that Teller had really, 30 years ago about magic was the idea you could say to the audience, we're doing tricks, we know we're doing tricks, let's do tricks, and we give some of them away and some of them we don't.
Well, the ones you give away, it's interesting because a lot of times, like Ope said, a trick is given away and you just kind of go,
yeah,
like that. But you guys do it in a way where it's really fun. One of the best ones I've seen was when you guys did I guess Teller was in a little little tube spot, and his hand is coming up at one in his head.
It's called Lift Off to Love that we did for a long time. And that was really tough because we had to invent the trick and then show how it was done. The problem is that most of the that was stupid. The amount of work we put in per minute on stage, if we had talent, we wouldn't have to do, we got this new sawing we're doing where we're going to saw a woman. I guess I'm giving it away. It doesn't matter. We're going to saw a woman in half and show exactly how it's done and where she's hidden in the exact compartment and everything, and then saw that part in half. And so it means, and then it's going to get really bloody and gory and awful. So it's just like you bring the saw down to here. This is how it's done. She's hiding right here. See, here's her body. Here's where the mirrors are. Here's where the whole thing is. And all the way through and blood everywhere. So we have to kind of sort of hide her twice, We've been working on this thing for, it's going on 2 years now, working on it all the time with you guys playing in the background in our shop. When we're not there, the shop guys with this huge warehouse in Vegas, you guys show is blaring
that's pretty
all
cool,
the time.
Wow.
And they're in there, trying to find how you make this torso bleed just right when the saw hits it. So some people are doing other work while they're listening.
That's
to
a great job to have.
And,
well, you guys pull it off because
it's going to be 4 minutes of stage time. 4 minutes, and we'll be putting in like 2.5 years.
Yeah,
it's just stupid.
Is it just basic principles? A lot of these tricks that are basic principles that you just kind of rework to.
There's a great thing that Jim Steinmeier said, who developed a lot of illusions for Copperfield and so on, and he's a great guy. Jim Steinman said magicians are all guarding a safe that's empty. There are no secrets. People will come to us like corporate shows and go, we want to pay you a few $100,000. What you're going to do is, make a car disappear in the middle of a room. And we go, there are no rules of physics that we know that you don't. We're going to have to cheat, lie. We're going to put something in front of it, and there's going to be smoke. And it's going to look cheesy because you can't just disappear. And they go, well, there's things that you know. And we go, no, not outside of physics.
Right.
See, if you were outside of physics, we'd be in a different field. We'd be in the Department of Defense. We'd be Nobel Prize. We'd be somewhere.
Bank
we wouldn't
robbers.
be on stage at our show in Vegas. We wouldn't have a theater. There's no Einstein Theater in Vegas. It's smart people don't have theaters there. So we're trying to do the one thing that we know that you might not know is there are probably 50 dead ends you would go down that we wouldn't go down because we've been there. Mm-hmm. That's the only difference. But if you guys said, we really want to saw a woman in half, show how it's done, and then saw it in half further, you'd sit down and you'd say, okay, so it's got to look like her body's here. We got to hide her body somewhere else. Where's it going to be? You want to try using like a half woman? No, Chris did that, and it showed up on YouTube. Everybody knows it. We want to try. We'll use a full woman. If she's a contortionist, does that mean we can get her in this box? Oh, wait, it looks like she's in that box. We can't do that. And that's all you do. You just bang your head against the wall.
Cash it out.
And you read everything other people have done, and you say, oh, there's this thing that Harbin did in England where he used, it turns out you can make it look like if she turns sideways, people don't register it. And little things like we put black lines on the side and put stuff that's flying wedge toward you. It look a little thinner. But that stuff, and then you just sit like an idiot with 5 guys in a room with a box at the other end of the room going, that wouldn't fool me. And there's a lot of magicians who do this thing where they go, that wouldn't fool me, but it'll fool the idiots that come to our show. And those are the guys that have sucky shows.
I think you're downplaying a little bit. The comedy that's involved in your shows really cuts through and really makes it very entertaining.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I don't think there's a lot of guys that can do your angle as far as this goes and pull it off because you got to have a sense of humor as you're showing people how this stuff is
and
done
also
and
if you're going to give away 5 tricks during the night, you've got to have another 5 that will fool them for the rest of their lives.
Right.
If you're going to give stuff away that they already figure out, it's going to appear to be a little bit.
That's
smart.
a nice twist too, because then you blow their minds with something like, whoa.
Yeah, we end our show with a trick.
Sure.
I think that the bullet catch that people.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Your guy is giving us
Boston.
Your guy's giving us the look.
Is he? So he's holding up a piece of paper.
He's giving the look like.
I just got to
ask you one thing. Did you see The Prestige, the movie?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that
awful?
one?
Because I saw the other other one.
The Illusionist.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
That one sucked. I liked the Prestige, though.
Really?
That was pretty good.
Tell her read the book, and I remember when it was Hugh Jackman in there, right?
Yeah.
And he came. I remember telling him from the bottom of my heart that I was going to run and see it because he came to see our show. And we talked, and I talked about how excited I was about the movie. And
there's great little twists
didn't
in
even
there.
Bother crossing the street to see it because I'm a liar. And out of my basement, I run a league that you should be listening to. And I'll sign anything you want, Jimmy, anytime.
That's all I
Whip
care
it out right now. I'll sign it with a felt marker. And there's no line I'll draw with you.
No, it sucks. You got to go, and we really want to talk about the 5th season of BS.
But that's already been on. It's the
Showtime.
6th season we're working on. Isn't that cool?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay, you're up to 6. I'm
6
sorry.
seasons of that?
Wow.
How did that happen?
Really?
Talk about...
You know, you're my... I don't know if this is a compliment, but you're my go-to show when there's like nothing on TV. I go to Showtime and I
thanks so
I go
much.
to
When
on
there's
demand.
nothing on.
No, I don't mean it like that though.
I
But
believe that there's no greater compliment than saying I had nothing better
also,
to
like
do.
this-
In the whole world, I had nothing better to do. I called you. It's a terrific compliment. I'm going to twist it that way. I'm going to be fine with it that way.
Showtime on demand. I'm serious.
I'm working on liking
I'm
you
like, what
guys
am I gonna-
because my crew will disown me.
Yeah.
When they listen to this, if I have said one thing that pisses you off in any way, the crew is going to walk. And this is a case of a boycott that really matters. Saw your own stupid whore in half. You paint the goddamn box. I'm out of here. You show disrespect to Anthony.
I knew something was up because I have a feeling you're in a tough situation. I think you really want to go after us for some things, but you're like, my crew's going to hate me forever.
Yeah, the crew has all the power in the world.
Right.
If they decide tonight, the next night I'm on stage, they can just decide and I die.
Yeah.
And there's no exaggeration to that. They can just say, give me his gun.
Oh, man.
Let's monkey with that. Oops, sorry.
I have a feeling they might have a voicemail or two from you that they're ready to release.
I saw you do that in Boston, the bullet catch, and I was obviously amazed. There's no way anyone's just sitting there, the layman, if you will, can just sit there and watch that and go, it's anything different than him being shot in the face.
Yeah, we worked really hard on that and got a lot of help from. It was one of the rare tricks that somebody came to us and gave us stuff that was too smart that we couldn't do.
And it's indeed dangerous.
Yeah. Well, it is the most dangerous trick in show business because 13 people have died on stage doing it. The way they usually say in magic books is they usually say like 12 magicians and 3 carnies. They put them in a different category. But my favorite one who died doing this, and this is important, is one guy came out on stage to start his show. The end of his show. It was a 19th century Wild West magician came out called Willard the Wizard, I believe. Came out on stage to do his medicine show, and he ended with the bullet catch. And he knew that and did the advance press and came out and started his show. And a guy in the audience stood up and said, "Catch this," and shot him in the face.
Whoa.
So I was walking through LAX, and I'd forgotten for a moment I was walking through LAX. I thought I was just walking because I'm in my own little world.
Yeah.
And a bunch of youths, as you'd call, were over to one side, and they went, "Yo, Pat, you can catch bullets?" And I turned around and went, "Trick! It's a trick! It's a trick! It's just a trick!" And then realized I was in LAX and went, yeah. Anytime you want. Because that is the fear. That we don't want that blurred line.
Not with that, especially,
that. Don't tell people you can really do this stuff, Chris, because somebody might believe you. Most people, out of the 300 million people on the planet, in the United States, 300 million aren't going to believe you. They're just going to think, oh, here's a guy who wanted to be in a hair metal band that learned a card trick. That's all they're going to think, who wears a cross around his neck big enough to actually use to kill a Jew. He carries 3 nails in his pocket. He's ready. If Christ comes back, Chris is ready. Go to him. Somebody might not think you're just that guy. They might actually think you have powers and go, "Hey, Chris, let me try putting you in a wood chipper."
Yeah.
So with the gun thing, very clear, because I'm very aware of your demographic.
Sure.
I do tricks. I cannot catch bullets. If you shoot me, you will go to jail. Has that been clear enough?
That's pretty clear.
But I gotta go. Are they really getting crazy?
Yeah, where are you going next?
I'm going on this morning television show. Michael and
Mike and Juliet.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Is it bad? I've never seen it.
It's a Regis ripoff.
Oh,
is it?
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna do a thing on there. Just so you know, I'm gonna force the 3 of clubs, and then it's gonna be on Teller's eyes. We got these scleral shells that go over his eyes and obliterate him. One says 3, one says clubs. We're gonna put our pajamas on, pretend we're asleep. For those of you who really care about magic, so you have real fans, it'll be a top slip force. Nate, who listens to the show all the time, will load the 3 of clubs on top of the deck. I'll turn to the meat puppet. I'll riffle down the deck. And I'll say stop. They'll say stop wherever they want. I'll break the cards very honestly, very openly, but I'll actually slip the top card off with my middle finger. It'll go on the top. Meat puppet will show it to the thing. Tell him have his eyes closed the whole time. He'll turn, open his eyes, they'll go, because we've actually changed his iris into the 3 of clubs as opposed to little pieces of plastics that were written. This is where ophthalmology and magic meet on the Michelle and Robert show. Coming up soon. But don't stop listening to this one.
What time is that? No, now we gotta watch.
I think I'm on now.
Yeah, you better
I think Teller's like really screwed.
You better go. All right.
That would be some trick.
His own damn card.
He leaves through that door and he's instantly on the TV show.
Hey, Penn, we've just touched the surface with you. You got to come back and see us again, all right?
Yeah.
It's Penn Jillette.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to check out BS on Showtime.
Thank you so much.
Penn, you're great, man.
Thank you, man. You want to come back anytime? Yeah, we definitely got more to talk about.
He's leaving.
Sure.
It's Opie and Anthony. We're gonna take a break. Dane Cook coming back in studio. Bob Kelly's here. It's a very busy show. Opie and Anthony.
Ooh.
It's Opie and Anthony. Man, that Penn Jillette, what an ass.
Say that.
No, I like Penn Jillette. I ran out. I got a picture with him. I said, please come back. And he just gave away the magic trick he's doing on TV in a little while. That was pretty damn funny. All right, here's the reset. We got Dane Cook in another studio doing other phone interviews for other radio shows, I think.
Yes.
Or other media outlets. We got Bob Kelly in studio.
Bobby.
Yo.
When's Dane coming back?
You got him in about half an hour.
Okay. He'll finish this side of the show up with us. Dane Cook, of course, just promoting all sorts of stuff. Movies and garden dates, as in Madison Square Garden and as in the old Boston Garden. I gave up trying to figure out what they named that place.
I think it's the Garden now.
No, whatever. It's the old Boston Garden. That's what I like to say.
It stinks.
All right. Hey, we need a sound for tomorrow for the $1,000 contest. You got one, Ant?
Sound, huh? Yes, we do. Here it is.
All right, there you go.
That's it.
That's the sound for tomorrow you're listening for between 7 and 7:30 if you want to win $1,000. And for the the faithful listeners here, if you missed the sound, you could always go to onaradio.com and get the next sound you're listening for $1,000, okay? And that's a good sound clip to play because we have officially started Povember.
Yes.
We don't know what we're doing with Povember, but the Erocktober thing was such a hit, we decided to continue with Povember.
I'll tell you what we're doing with Povember. We're celebrating a retard.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a lethal combination. He could kill you with a pixie stick.
We were all standing out on the sidewalk yesterday, and the fabulous Mr. Bennington comes and just walks down and owns the sidewalk. And when he stops, Poe came walking up, and he goes, "Oh, here comes the Matrix." Yeah, the sunglasses on and the long leather.
Yeah.
Just here comes the Matrix. We have to celebrate Poe.
Yeah.
It's a celebration of Poe for a month.
Hey, this is Master Poe. Po, boo, bo, banana, nana, banana, fana, fofo, fee, fi, momo, Poe!
There you go. Just a taste of Master Poe. Hey, but Erocktober ended in grand fashion.
Almost
yesterday.
tragedy.
Almost tragedy. Can we play those clips from yesterday? Are they short? Kind of short? What do you got? Oh, they're all right. Yeah, we can get through this. So the month of October was Erocktober. And yesterday, I guess we need to set this up. We went over to XM. And what's her name again? What's that hoe's name?
Justine Jolie.
Justine Jolie came by to say hi. Now, you might remember the last time Justine Jolie was in studio, it was in this studio over here. Yes. And we asked her if we could spank her, and Erock walloped her.
He gave her the old Jake LaMotta.
We actually got the clip. We played the wrong clip earlier for the people that linger longer. They were all over us for that.
Oh, I know.
But here's Erock spanking Justine Jolie right here in this studio and leaving a massive, horrific handprint on her bottom.
Oh, ow.
Oh, that's all it is? Oh, we don't have the part where she starts cursing you out?
We haven't beeped it.
Oh, it's not beeped?
The amount of beeps.
That sounded fake. What an ass you.
That is real, man.
Oh, ow.
And then it's right after that, she's like, you mother effer!
Yeah, she
and
got
just lost her
very
mind.
angry. Look how red. It's a perfect fat little hand imprint.
It looks like a giant lip print.
Oh,
yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, and then it got really, really ugly, and she just cursed out Erock, and I was hiding. I was laughing so hard. I was giggling, and I was on the floor trying to make sure my laughs were not heard on the radio. It was just one of those moments.
Compare it to the other one he did. I mean, that was another spank he did to a girl.
Yeah.
Dude, listen to that.
Oh, ow.
Second one.
That's a punch in the face. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, ow.
All right, hold on, man. No, F you, man. I think I have the better one.
Oh, ow. Oh, oh, ow.
All right, let's go. All right, ready? Let's go back and forth now, real fast. All right?
Oh.
You're listening to Erock's greatest hits.
That's right.
Oh, ow. Oh. Oh.
Right.
Wow. That's a boy who loves his mother.
Wow. So, yesterday, the end of Erocktober, she just happened to be in studio with some Penthouse Pets, and they did a lot of fun stuff for us.
Oh, we got one more that Erock did?
Yep.
Hả? Không phải là Việt Cộng. Ở đây không có là Việt Cộng không biết không? Không phải là Việt Cộng. Ở đây không có là Việt Cộng không biết không? Tại sao vậy hả? Sao cái ông gào tôi con mà. Cái này giết heo, giết gà phải không?
Well, that it didn't end very well.
That's obviously Platoon.
Yes.
Now that's not the big toothed guy.
No. That was the woman and the husband.
I understood she was upset.
Yes.
But she should have shut up.
Yeah. Clam up.
You have to realize in that situation that Tom Berenger is not happy.
Look into Tom Berenger's eyes and realize what's going to happen if you don't clam up.
Shane in the Bronx is saying that the slaps are identical. The actual slaps. The reaction's slightly different, but the slaps are identical.
Yeah.
So Justine Jolie was in yesterday, okay, and we're like, hey, Erock, why don't you come in studio and say hi to Justine Jolie? The setup goes after the famous...
Oh, ow.
Erock also kind of sucked mayo off her toes.
Kinda. He did.
And that got him in a lot of trouble with his fiancée. A lot of trouble. And he got a talking to, which was basically, I don't want you ever to be in the same studio as her. I don't want you to ever talk to her. I don't want you to acknowledge that she even exists on this earth. So yesterday, Erock came into the studio and was face to face with Justine Jolie, the girl that his fiancée has a huge problem with, to the point where Erock even said she would come over here and start a fight. So it was very uncomfortable. Like, Erock, you take a look at her, say hi. And he would not look. He stared straight ahead. And every time Justine Jolie tried to go toward Erock moved away like they were like two magnets.
Yep.
That couldn't attach, right? So then we got the bright idea that Erock needed to call his fiancée live on the air, 2 feet from Justine Jolie. And this is how it went down, right? Is that a good enough setup? I think so. Let's go to the tape. All right, Erock's calling his chick live on the show right now.
Look at
Wait, here it is.
How you doing? You listening to the show?
Hmm.
No, you don't Don't put it on for The Office.
Put it on for The Office.
Just tell her. We have a guest here. You might remember her. Which? All right. Remember who you told me not to have any more involvement with? Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's standing right next to me. Wait. I heard an okay. So, I wanted to give you a heads up before you got any calls that I told you that she's standing here pretty much naked next to me in the studio.
Yeah.
No, don't hang up.
Uh-oh.
What's she saying? She's not saying anything.
You're a ring being flushed.
Hello?
Is she there?
Yeah. So, you okay with that?
Oh, that sounded really okay. Yep.
What's in? She say yep or no?
She said no. She's not okay with it at all.
Ask her why. Ask her why.
They want to know why.
What?
Whore.
Yeah, what did she say?
She said because she's a whore and I don't want you near her.
Oh. Oh, man.
So it was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Oof.
And then I guess the setup here is the phone call just continued? Yes, so. All right, here we go.
It got worse.
More tape. We're almost to the moment where it got really uncomfortable
Really
for
bad
everybody.
for everyone
But first, more of the
involved,
phone
yeah.
call. Is there some crying going on? Oh, boy. Oh, no.
It's not looking good, guys.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Oh, geez.
Oh, no.
You okay, Erock?
He's
I'm going to apologize to Erock. As I zoom in, get a tight shot on his head. Let's go for the tight shot.
Erock is having a conversation in a corner of the studio. I hear a lot of okays going on. Okay?
He's really taking charge.
I hear shenanigans and tomfoolery. It's going to be bad.
Erock?
Erock.
Uh-oh.
Erock.
All right, the phone hung up. He's got a mic in his hand.
Slowly putting the phone away, and
he's trying to compose himself before he turns back around. Erock?
Erock.
What happened?
Grab a mic and let us know what happened.
What happened?
Well, that could have gone better.
Turn around. Look at the girl.
Yeah, what happened?
Are you not looking at us because you're tearing up?
Well, that, and I'm not allowed to, so,
All right, we're back live. So, obviously...
Let me just tell people, too, people who didn't listen, this was on the XM side. Twitchels is that noise you hear?
Yeah.
Constantly.
That should be decapitated noise you hear is Twitchell.
I thought it sounds like he was starting to cry. That was Twitchell.
Yeah.
No, well,
he
you
was
it choked
crying.
up in his voice. No, he was
Yeah, that was the second half of the conversation. Like, he went off mic because she was giving him a talking to, and he went off to a corner in the studio, and he had his face turned, so we couldn't see, but it was obvious he was bawling.
Yeah, he was like Timothy Hutton in Ordinary People.
Yeah, he was bawling. And
why was he crying?
Well, she was giving him a talking to. We're going to find out in a minute here.
A talking,
and then
perhaps a bit more.
This is the grand finale. So then, of course, because we're such great friends, we decided in his moment of despair we would play "Everybody Hurts" by REM. And the phone call, well, not the phone call, but it continued with this. Go ahead, Erock.
Eric.
I can't do this.
What happened?
What did you say? We're not asking you to out any real private stuff, but what did she say to you? I mean, it's a fair question.
He's in love with the girl, and he doesn't want to hurt her. And now he feels he has, and he's leaving the studio.
Is that his fiance?
Well, you way to pick up on things.
Holy you inept.
You know, not only is this idiot just twitching and bang through the entire process, but then he asks a completely idiotic, are they opposite genders? Shut up.
And at that point, Erock said, I can't do it anymore, and he ran out of the studio.
And
then he was gone for at least an hour.
Erock and his girl talking reminded me of that scene in Stripes when they got caught doing something wrong and they tried to explain to John Larroquette. It was like, what happened? Well, sir, we were on our way to bingo parlor. Shut up. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Erock, you want to share what happened in that conversation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
No.
No?
That pretty much is speaks for itself.
Oh.
She obviously said some really, really bad things that really got to you. I would assume it had something to do with maybe the wedding's off or something. If you,
I would think
if you continue with this,
with his
I don't
emotions,
know. I don't know for sure, but I think she laid down the law. And it really got
getting
to him
so emotional,
because you're really in love with her, and you're going to marry this woman.
But did
and
you-
she's a wonderful lady, by the way.
We
like
all
her.
like her very much.
We
She's
like
actually,
her.
She's far too good for you.
We kind of put her in a really awkward situation that, Erock's calling her live on the show while a naked stripper that she has a problem with is 2 feet from Erock.
Right next to her.
Right.
Oh, it was awful.
That was the only way that was going to end.
So, Eric, basically, while you were talking, she was, because, she has people that listen, and you, what was it that got you? You don't even have to say what she said, but what was the vibe of it that got you so much, that bothered you so much?
A lot of it was, some of it was what she was saying. A lot of it was what she wasn't saying.
Oh, like, I love you?
That, a lot of dead air on that end, heavy breathing, and stuff either being...
Haven't you learned anything from radio? Dead air is really bad. Even in private conversations, you got to fill up that dead air. You got to keep talking.
This is how you,
Keep that conversation going.
That's right.
When you
Maybe you should have taken another phone call at that point or something.
No. When you're fighting on the phone with your
Sorry,
girl,
guys.
no, that's right. When it gets really quiet, I always do this. Do.
That's comfy.
Yeah.
Erock, you really did you really get emotional?
Yeah.
And why? I mean, I don't understand. By being yelled at, or is she saying emotional things to you? Like, my girl yelling at me wouldn't make me cry. Was she saying like that? Was she crying?
No, she was. She was
strong,
wasn't really
strong
talking.
like bull.
No, she was,
She was quite pissed off.
Eric's an emotional guy. That's all. He's a very.
That's good. I like that about him. I would love to be able to cry like that on cue.
You'd love to be able to cry once.
On cue.
Yeah, Bob Kelly cries when he sees the midgets and the.
That's true. Getting.
Let's not forget, Bob Kelly does cry at some wimpy TV.
Displaced emotions. He can't cry in real life, but it's stupid TV.
That's what it is.
But
I know
Displaced
that. I live with
emotions.
it.
But a
But I
midget,
didn't know. You just.
but a midget getting engaged gets the waterworks going with you.
Yeah, they look like little kids that are hurt.
So what exactly was it, Erock?
I don't know. It was kind of difficult because it took so long for the previous incident to blow over.
Oh, wow. It did?
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about it much on the air, but that was an ugly, ugly thing that ended up being a real problem in his personal life. That's fair to say.
Yeah, and so this wasn't really, especially since she was just got out of a meeting and everybody in the office was pretty much around, heard her end of the conversation, so that didn't really help while she was at work.
And then she realized she was kind of on the radio, and I'm sure that wasn't
that wasn't
pleasant for her, right? Yeah.
No.
But that's how Erocktober ended. But everything is okay now. We need the update. Everything's all right?
Well, we'll see after at 9 o'clock when she gets up here.
Well, does she come in here?
Oh,
Wait, what did we do wrong today? Just talking about it, she just wants it to go away. Well, it is Povember, so we're done with that.
Yeah.
Well, you were a good boy. You didn't do anything.
No, I know.
I mean, that little rub on the ass was nothing. I mean, it was.
You rubbed her on the ass?
No.
I'm kidding.
Help the guy out.
Look at him jumping in. No.
I got to help the guy out.
Eric was very well behaved.
Yeah,
he wanted nothing to do
He's
with it.
on very thin
And I don't
ice.
fault Justine either. She didn't do anything wrong. It was just a stupid radio thing. Like, if it's anything, I told Erock too, truthfully, I got in a tremendous amount of hot water for spanking a girl on the air. And it's like, I tried to tell my girlfriend, it's like, it doesn't mean anything. It really does. It means nothing.
You know what? One of the best.
I got into a lot of trouble, dude. I got a prostate exam in a bathroom with a hot nurse 2 months before I was getting married.
Are you in trouble for that?
No, of course not.
Oh.
Take that crap.
was
I
a
give
male
a
nurse.
goon hand in 2 seconds.
Goon
You should
hand.
shut your face. I do what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I say to her. I do what I do. And
Yeah,
I,
let's call her so you can say that.
Go ahead, call her up. I'll smack her on the air.
Yeah?
Let me hear about how you goon
I'm
hand
going to
her.
call your bluff. Give me your number.
I'm gonna
Give me your
smack
number.
her, and I'm gonna smack her dad, and I'm gonna smack her mom. I might even take her mom and soil her.
You know, it has to be pointed out. Yesterday, Jimmy had one of the funniest lines about his girlfriend. Like, we had penthouse pets in the studio.
Jesus, right?
And one was 19, and you were just out of your freaking mind. You were foaming at the mouth.
Was he-
I don't want to do your line because it was really funny.
I don't
but
remember the line.
It was how you were going to go home and drag your girlfriend out of bed by her hair and leave her in the hallway. I think I did it justice. He was so into this penthouse pet that he goes, I'm going home right after the show, grabbing her out of bed by her hair and leaving her in the hallway.
Because there was another line I remember him saying that was similar to that, but he was going to throw her out by the... and then he used a C word.
The toes.
Yes. Oh, they're the pictures Erock is putting up of the...
Yeah, I'm sure... good luck finding those in this day and age of radio. Wow. But that's 4 penthouse pets.
I don't see a watermark on it.
In their birthday suit.
It can't be real. It's photoshopped.
All right, we got to take a break. So that's how Erocktober ended. But it's all good as long as we stop talking about it. Right?
Yeah, we're pretty much good.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right, we're getting close to playing What Did We Learn on the Opie and Anthony Show. More with Bob Kelly. I think Dane Cook's going to pop his head in to kind of wrap up this side of the show with us.
It was cool. He came in. He hung out for quite a while.
Yeah, we'll get some plugs in, and that'll be it. All right? It's Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony. Dane Cook somewhere in this joint doing his thing. Hopefully he'll come in and say goodbye to everybody. And then we got Bob Kelly in studio because Dane was in studio. He said, hey, Bob, why don't you come in and say hi to your friend there?
I'm going to fight Dane as soon as he walks in.
Yeah, sure you are.
I'm going to knock him right out.
He was talking about the wedding online.
He left me the funniest message.
I got to reset for people, though. Like, our friend Bob Kelly, he went to Hawaii, he got married, just him and his chick, basically. Yeah. But he had the whole thing on the internet, and then he sent out evites. What are they called? Evites or invite, whatever the hell that is. And you were able to watch Bob Kelly get married on the internet.
Yeah.
As he's in this beautiful place called Hawaii, and you're in your stupid basement living with your mom.
Right. Yep.
Thanks, Bob.
I had...
And Dane thought it was hilarious, especially when you let the butterflies loose.
Yeah, he left me a message. It started out because I was getting messages from Colin and certain people busting him, and he called me. He was like, "Man, I got to tell you, the most amazing thing I've ever seen, bro. You look great. Dawn was beautiful. What an amazing man. I can't do this. You corny loser. Butterflies.
Butterflies.
I didn't know about the butterflies, to tell you the truth.
Who gave you the idea?
Misread his eyes. He said butter cookies. Swim walk.
It was all...
Who said butterflies
okay,
would
ready?
be a good idea?
This is what I did. I said, let's get married.
Yeah.
And then I said, go ahead, get on your computer. Whatever you want, we'll do. And she picked everything.
Okay.
And I just said, okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, sir.
I've seen the couple light a candle to have individual candles and light a bigger candle. I've seen that. My buddy got married in Atlanta, and they had like 2 different color sands that they put in one jar. His
Jesus.
color and her color in one jar. But butterflies.
You won't see that happening at the dog's house. I don't want that different colored sand mixing with our sand.
And right on cue, here's Dane Cook to beat you up there, Bob. Hey, Dane, just to fill you in, we're talking about Bob Kelly's wedding again, online.
All right, ready? Here's my impersonation of Bobby. Ready? Do you love this woman forever? Yeah.
Oh, were you doing that?
Well, I was mic'd. I had a mic on. I had a cordless mic. And it was
Sounded
on my
like
lapel.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, but you breathe heavy when you're on our show as well.
Yeah, I think I breathe heavy just because I'm fat.
Yeah.
I think that was because I was getting mad.
And I was telling Dane, because he was talking about the butterflies, that they were frozen, right? So they would stay alive
They
a
were
little
frozen,
longer?
and then it was like, I think it was like 85 out when we were on that beach. It was really hot.
Right.
So they went from being frozen to just being, in a frying pan in 2 seconds.
Well, you can freeze them and they live?
Not freeze. They're like in a fridge.
Just slow down their little butterfly heart until you need them.
Yeah.
Do that to flies.
Yeah.
You put them in the... Yeah, that's how they do a magic trick
What
where it
was
makes
the,
it look like a fly is dead. You put it in your hand, because it won't do anything. It'll just lay there. And then it warms up in your hand, and then you open your hand up and it flies away, and you go, look, life, it lives.
That works with hookers too, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Bobby, what was option B? What other ideas were on tap besides the butterflies?
Yeah, like what idea was
galloping away on the back of a horse?
What ideas did you say no to?
On the back of the groom.
What
I just float into the ocean.
What did you say no to? Seems like you didn't say no to anything.
Well, I didn't.
A raft that you both built together out of.
Well, I said no to
matching dresses.
It was. She wanted like a total. Like Hawaiian wedding, and I had the guy add a little religion
code word
in
for
it.
gay.
Put a little religion in it.
Well, yeah, like a little Jesus here and there. You know, my grandmother, my Catholic grandmother was watching, and I didn't want him
Jesus
speaking
was Hawaiian.
I didn't.
You married in a church, then, you stupid heretic. No, dude, that's where the footprints in the sand were, dude.
Did you make two sets of footprints go into one?
And that's when Jesus said, "My son, that's where I tried to pick you up, you fat bastard, but you were too heavy."
I actually wrote. I put a heart in the sand, and I wrote, "We just got Maui'd," and then the wave came up and took it away.
Is that true? Is that true?
That's not true. No way.
I just got Maui.
No.
You know they are marketing that. You know they market that. There's probably T-shirts with that on it.
I didn't get to that part
I got
because
Maui'd.
a pop-up for classmates.com opened, and I ended up clicking away from your wedding.
I wish someone pulled out a machine gun and Maui'd you down with
it. Hey, your video's getting some hits, too. Dane, Bob was in recently.
Yes.
And on YouTube, if you go to 2 Girls, 1 Cup reaction, Robert Kelly, they're starting to say it's the best reaction to that video.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's this horrific video. It's in the porn genre, but it's
no, it's not.
It's way sicker. Not your video. I'm talking the video you're watching.
The porn, what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He says it's the grossest.
It's definitely in the porn genre, but it's twisted and
it's an extreme niche porn, and usually reserved to Germans or Japanese pornography.
Or bald guys with whiffles.
And the bit is, which is pretty funny. Here's the Dane. You can't really explain it on this side, but just to give you a little taste, so to speak.
Taste is.
Here's the video that Bob was watching. Okay. Starts off very nice with 2 girls doing some fun stuff,
and then goodness gracious!
Then a cup is being filled up. We could say that much. And then they do that with the cup. And
it looks like a frappuccino.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Almost delicious.
Yeah.
Almost.
Like a moussey beverage.
Yeah. All right, get rid of that video. So we play this for Bob, because you know by now he has a very weak stomach, right?
Yeah.
So, Bob, this is Bob's reaction to that video you just saw. Just a little. Go to the beginning. Go to the beginning. So this is Bob watching the video. It's up on YouTube. 2 Girls, 1 Cup reaction. Robert Kelly. He's seen the part where we all like the first part, which is very nice. 2 girls kind of doing their thing. And then it turns horribly wrong, and watch what Bob does. He just starts puking.
Of course.
And the vomiting started when the 2 girls were just kissing.
And the sound Bob makes is just...
Dude.
He's gagging. He's puking. It's really funny. And this is taking off on the internet where people are watching this video. I mean, you got that MySpace thing. We got
only over 2 million friends.
But no, what they're doing is people are filming themselves watching this horrific video and now putting it online. And we were not aware of that as we did this. Then we were aware of it, and we brought it to other people's attention. But someone is still giving me crap on instant feedback about it. But whatever, that's for another day. But that's Bob Kelly's reaction to that horrific video.
Love that. I love your weak stomach. That's great.
Hey,
remember the time, Bobby, I sent you the picture? Was that of the guy with the half the face?
Oh yeah.
Is that the guy that blew off his head and he's in the ER?
Yeah, he's
with his face like kind of off his.
Yeah, I think so. Well, there was two. Remember that we were on Tourgasm? The guy told me, I can't say it on this. Forget
There's
it.
a motorcycle accident like that, too.
Mhm.
And the guy had scraped his face. So you can
Yeah.
see where his mouth was because the teeth were
Yeah.
in the bloody, pulpy face.
Oh,
It was awful.
God.
And then there was that Mel Gibson movie that had a very inspirational ending. The Man Without a Face. Remember that?
Certainly.
I liked how Bobby brought up Tourgasm. That's like a distant memory to him.
To me, too.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, okay.
But this is what I say to the middle act. Make sure you say Tourgasm. and say starring in. Don't say that
What do
cook's
you mean
name.
that's what you say to the middle act? What, in a mirror?
You might remember me from the Tourgasm.
Easy. You playing Red Lobsters. Relax. All right. They don't all come out good. Whatever.
Can't even argue. I have
So,
nothing to
can I
say.
get a little car crash on that one?
No.
Wow.
As you said that, I
Little
just checked
skid.
my phone for text. I'm
Yep.
very well, you raised a good point.
Bob, that was very hurtful.
Yeah, it came out a little rough.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, we got another. You want to play that other thing for Bob?
No.
What?
No.
What?
No.
It's nothing bad.
No.
Why do you always think we're going to go for the gag?
Really? Because watch, he'll start singing his sentences anytime now. Listen, Opie.
What was your wedding song?
We're not going to do anything.
It's a video of you releasing butterflies.
We're not going to go anywhere.
What was your wedding song?
I know, by the way, the way you reacted to that video, it's the way we reacted when we saw those butterflies coming out.
Did you
Why
get
won't
mad
you
with?
answer me?
Did you get? I'm sorry. Did you get mad with the conch shell? The guy blowing into the conch shell that actually looked like me.
Who was that guy? Who was the?
He was a Hawaiian minister.
I thought he was going to throw Don into a volcano at the end.
Your grandmother, very Catholic, you say?
Yes.
Yeah, she must have just been appalled by the whole thing.
She was
that hippie wedding.
She kept going. Who was that guy?
I turn that.
Yeah.
Who was the guy?
It's supposed to be a dark church.
I know. I got some Hawaiian with a lei and a shell blowing into it.
I know, Bob. That's
marriage.
We got that. We got that
Marriage.
scene right
Oh.
there. There's the guy blown into the conch shell.
Oh yeah, like
Look, Bob. Bob, it's the guy
This
blown
ain't
into
gonna
the
be my.
conch shell. at
I
your
get
wedding.
it, Opie.
oh.
You know what? I want to keep my breakfast once on this show.
That's really
Holy
nice.
shit!
What? Whoa, hey.
Oh,
hey.
sorry.
Oh, that is really,
Sorry.
some nasty stuff they're doing there.
Pop out. It looks like a little Tootsie Roll. Aw, how cute.
Bob,
A little treat.
get back on mic.
God,
Be
Bob,
a professional.
Look at it, Dane.
I can't even look at that.
Dane's
looking at
staring at it like a serial killer. Do you watch this all the time? Is that why you have 2 million friends?
I'm trolling YouPorn 24/7, my friend.
YouPorn is the best.
Oh, YouPorn is awesome. Peanut Butter Smack. Have you seen that one? It's a guy. He's like on top of his girl. It's like, and I endured 11 minutes of it because I'm like, because the titles are what really. It's called Peanut Butter Smack, and he's like this big Samoan dude, and it's the worst camera angle ever too.
Is that my wedding?
Set it behind his own butt and stuff, and then finally, like right at 11 minutes, he reaches in. There's peanut butter, and he just smacks his chick.
In the face?
Called Peanut Butter Smack.
That's it.
Yeah, 11 minutes in, he smacks her with peanut butter on his hand.
Hey, let's say hi to Beth in the Bronx. Beth, what's up?
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey.
Opie and Anthony, I love you guys. Jimmy, your special was fucking awesome. Sorry.
Madam, that type of talk.
And now because you said that,
Will not get the awesomeness of Jimmy
and
on the
now that,
air.
Now that you cursed, half the people didn't hear that you said how much you love us.
I love you guys.
I'm just kidding. Good.
And Jimmy, you were awesome. Opie and Anthony, you guys looked adorable on his special. And Dane Cook, I am so in love with you.
Thank you, madam, for the compliments for us, just to get to the real compliment, which was Dane. We were actually the warm-up compliments.
Yeah.
I wasn't even in a compliment.
Dane, I bet that never happens. Girls just, throwing themselves at you.
I don't know where it all went right,
Professing
but
their love.
I'll take it.
If I was Dane, I would walk through Boston with just my zipper open and just point at chicks. Why not? The odds are someone's going to pop over and go, all right.
Jimmy, good idea.
How many naked pictures do you get from your friends?
Oh, crazy, man. Just
Really?
tons and tons of, some of the best. I'm putting a book together.
Jeez, you really should.
That
I have a disclaimer on my site. Once you send me something, I'm using it.
It's your property.
Yeah. I have an opening film for this for the tour that people are going to see, where a lot of these Sioux 5 pictures and stuff, they're insane. They're insane.
Speaking of which, because we're running out of show here, let's get all the plugs in. Dane, what are we promoting?
He's got tour starts in Toronto tomorrow night. Going to be in Washington, D.C. November 16th. There's 2 shows at the TD Bank North Garden in Boston, which is what they're calling it now, on November 17th. And then the next night here in New York, 2 shows at Madison Square Garden. Only the late show on that Sunday are tickets available.
Wait. He's doing what? He's doing 4 arena shows in 3 days.
Yes.
Wow.
Actually, no. 5 arena shows.
5.
I believe there's 2 at Boston, 2 here, and then there's 1 in Toronto.
Yep, and I'm going to be doing the late show at Hooligans in Hoboken.
Do you do that for the hell of it every once in a while?
Oh, yeah, man. I still, it's like, I'm in L.A. I still pop in the Laugh Factory most nights of the week.
Jamie's place.
Yeah. You
Do they make you
Jamie
wait?
Posada.
Do they make me wait? Yeah.
Yeah, make them wait for some improv.
You know the other
group.
comics hate when Dane comes in because they're all getting bumped.
They're done.
Yeah, and of course, Dan in real life is still in theaters. Number 1 comedy in America. I still haven't seen it. I was going to see it yesterday so I can be up on it a little bit.
Very heartwarming. It'll warm the cockles of your heart, sir.
Ooh, very good. And Bob, what could I say?
Uncle
Where are you going to be?
Vinny's.
Bobby will be puking.
I'll be at Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant. 877 Uncle Vin, Friday and Saturday night in Jersey.
What football team plays there?
What?
I'm just saying. It's unlike, Mr. Arena over here. Hold on. Let me just plow into a wall.
It was pretty good, though. I liked it.
I didn't get it.
Hey, Anthony, really fast. What's the sound for tomorrow for the $1,000? We got to get that out of the way one more time. Between 7 and 7:30, you're listening for what? What?
That's all right. I shuffle through these.
Penn and
so
Keller also will
quickly.
plug that. They're going to be on Fox and Friends while we're doing the walkover. So.
Mike and Juliet.
Mike and Juliet, they're going to be on.
And
there it is.
And he already explained how he's doing the magic trick you're about to see on TV, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
That he gave away the trick for us today. This is the sound for tomorrow between 7 and 7:30. There you go. When you hear that between 7 and 7:30, 10th caller will win.
Yeah!
$1,000. Dane,
Yeah, Johnny!
always a pleasure.
Anytime, boys.
I would say continued success, but that's...
Walk down to earth and do 1 garden show. That's how Dane will feel like he's failing when he's only doing 1 garden show and it takes more than the pre-sale to sell it out.
Hey, he's a stand-up guy, though, because I'll tell you something really fast here. There's a lot of guys we get to see on the way up, and as soon as they make it, we get to see them when they're finally
The same
coming
people you
back
meet?
down.
No, on the way down.
But Dane's one of these guys, he still keeps in touch with the show. He doesn't have to do this crap.
At least you don't have to worry about that with me.
No, I had a good time here, man.
But
I like hanging with you guys.
Without naming names, there's a lot of guys that have done that to us over the years, but not Dane Cook. That needs to be said today.
Let me tell you, the minute I can sell out an arena, I'll do a pre-recorded phoner. Send somebody
Here. Send this to those bums that I used to work with. All right, we got to go over to XM. Have a great day. It's Opie and Anthony.
Bye.
This is the Opie and Anthony Show. It's the Opie and Anthony Show. Opie and Anthony.
And here we are at XM Satellite Radio. We got Slash in studio here at XM, and Danny was trying to show off playing Guitar Hero 3, right?
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 3, the new one, in front of Slash, and you were bragging pretty good the last couple of days, but then you had to do it in front of Slash, and you failed miserably.
Yeah, I can't do anything in front of Slash.
You failed miserably.
I'm surprised I'm able to stand up in front of Slash.
Yeah, nothing's more humiliating than what I did. But then if this calibration was off, that's what it was, because I just
Yeah, I mean, it's good now, but I can't function. My heart's racing, my hands are shaking, I can't even do it.
Slash, I need a little bit of practice anyway, because I got one at home, and I put it on thinking I'm going to kill at this, and my security guard was over at my house, and I said, check this out, and I couldn't play it. And I was like, wow, I'm really out of practice. I was really addicted to it for a minute. I couldn't put it down. I had to beat the whole game in one sitting.
Yeah, that's how I was with the new one,
Didn't answer the phone, didn't eat dinner, didn't. Yeah,
that's the problem with video games.
Yeah, very addicting,
That's why
man. Love it.
I try not to play too many because my personality is such. I got that OCD thing.
Yeah, same thing.
When it comes to certain things, and one of them is video games, I just go into another world, and I cannot physically stop.
I can't either. I have to beat it. I have to get to the next thing, and it's just
You're featured in that game too. Huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I actually wrote some music for it too. Like when you first turn the game on and it goes up that cliff with the guys dueling it out. That's me.
That's pretty cool.
That's definitely cool.
In the
It's better-
boss battle.
A lot better than the Journey video game music that was on the. I remember that one.
Wait, what was that? Oh, we talked
Remember
about that recently. What was that again?
It was that Journey video game that was
didn't
up
know there
at
was one.
WBCN. It came out in like 82.
Yeah, it was
or
for
something
Atari.
Like,
Like, it was really old school Atari.
and it had nothing to do with a band or anything. It's like the members of Journey are in space or something, and you had to jump around. It was picking with all the
And you had to say
horrible
Journey from
sounds.
space or
I'm
something?
sure there'll be a Kiss game coming out if there isn't one.
Yeah, I'm sure Gene will.
Aerosmith's got a game coming out. Activision just told me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
09, I think.
speaking of Kiss, we could seg into the book. I had no idea that Paul Stanley was trying to
Produce us?
produce you guys back in the day. No
Those are
clue.
Good times.
Good times.
I mean, yeah, I mentioned that because I felt bad. Right after we told him to that we weren't interested, I did some interview for the LA Times and I slagged him. Because that was my attitude at the time, and and then having forgotten that I'd slagged him, I called him up to see if I could get some free guitars from him, and he was like, what did he say? He goes, you shouldn't air your dirty laundry, and hung up on me. I was like, hey, what'd I do?
Have you talked to him since or no?
I did. I actually, what prompted me to put that in the book was I ran into him and Gene at the Rock Honors in Vegas, and I was actually playing a Kiss song, and they were the headlining. They come on the shows for them. It's Rock Honors Kiss, and so they have all these different bands playing Kiss songs. And Tommy Lee, myself, Rob Zombie, Gilby Clarke, and Ace Frehley got up together and did a Kiss song, and I saw Gene and Paul afterwards, and I sort of apologized to Paul. I can't be a prick forever,
Yeah, I say I'm an Ace freak. He's the one member of Kiss I hadn't met.
He played last night.
I saw him.
Did you go?
I got a picture, of course. I groveled.
I emailed him last night. I texted him last night, and I said, what time are you playing and where? And he just now texted me back saying, I thought I told you where it was.
That's great.
Hey,
how was it?
He was fucking amazing
Was it
because
amazing?
he's sober now, and the set list was amazing. He started with I think Rip It Out. It was so fucking
I would have
good.
loved to have gone to that.
And I'm a comedian, so a couple of us were backstage and we got introduced to him. And Ace goes, "You guys are comedians. Give me a joke." And I'm trying to think of a joke. I'm like, I've never fucking felt unfunnier in my life than when Ace asked for a joke.
Like him playing Guitar Hero.
Was that
sort of like him playing Guitar
I was a
Hero.
complete blithering, incompetent idiot.
You panicked?
Guitar
I completely panicked. I had nothing to say.
Hey, getting back to Paul Stanley really fast. God bless you guys that, like any young band trying to make it, and all of a sudden you got Paul Stanley in front of you going, I want to produce you guys. I would imagine 99 out of 100 bands would go for that move no matter what. But you saw
we were
something.
pretty hardcore. We didn't want anybody messing with their stuff that wasn't supposed to be. And I remember when we got the phone call from Geffen saying Paul Stanley wants to produce you guys, we were like, to us, he represented the rich, fat rock star, and we weren't into it. But Steve Adler is a huge Kiss fan, and actually, when I first started playing guitar, it was basically with Steven Adler playing Kiss, all the time. And so we had him come down, and we were loaded, or at least I was, Izzy was, and we're all nodding out on the couch. I mean, I can't really verbally give you a picture of it, but anyhow, and so he hung around for a little while, and we had some dialogue, and we played a gig at what used to be Gazzari's, and he was at the board mixing the gig, and we were like, don't touch the board, man. And then he came down to one of our real gigs at a place called Raji's, which is this sweaty little dive, and it was like at a regular volume in a place where the people are like right here, and that was like our real element, and he saw that, and he was like, Jesus Christ, these guys are, anyway, and then after that, we just said, you know what, we're not really interested, and that was it.
Yeah, and that's in the book. I got to tell you, the book's called Slash, and
I think the first thing he says, I've got some definite arrangement ideas. Welcome to the Jungle needs to be different.
Oh, right. Ooh. Yeah, he wanted to rearrange the entire
that was the first day we met him, so it was over that day.
Yeah.
We just sort of hung around for a little while.
I picked up the book. I was going to read a few pages just to get a feel before you came in here, and I can't put the thing down. In 2 days, I read, actually, it's like 230 pages.
Wow,
in 2 days. I can't put the thing down.
Cool.
And I'm amazed at how open and honest you're being in this book.
Well, I don't have anything necessarily to hide. There is a lot of stuff that's not in the book, which I just didn't think was really necessary. Or, there's drug stuff in there that could go on for days. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I did all this and I did that. So I just put in sort of the day in the life stuff and left out the other shit.
It starts off, the first page grabs you because it talks about your heart pounding and you're worried about it on stage, and you feel like a weird beat on stage, which means like your mechanism kicked in.
No, it's not like a weird beat. It's like it's basically a defibrillator, like the ones you put on somebody that's heart is stopped. You know that pumping, how hard that is. It's like that internally. So what happened was when it went off, it was like getting hit in the chest with a baseball bat, and you see a little blue light. And I didn't know what it was, right? Because I just got this thing, but I didn't know anything about it, right? And I thought it was maybe I stepped on a flash pot or there was an electrical short. It was really impactful, and it happened to me like 6 times that night. And it was at Madison Square Garden playing with Michael Jackson when he did that 40th anniversary in 2001. So I'm up there in front of all, that whole that arena, and having this happen and trying to maintain composure.
Wow.
And we did 2 shows. It was actually one on the 8th and one on the 10th of September, the day before 9/11. Wow. And so I saw it on TV about, like a month later or something, and you never could tell that was happening.
Wow.
It was pretty intense, though. And I had it adjusted. What the problem was there was it basically, if your heart goes too fast, it kicks in. And if it goes too slow, it kicks in. If it goes too fast, it's at the top of your aorta, right? Or whatever you call it. And so it's a real sort of high, real impactful kind of slamming thing. And if it's low, it's sort of like a low thud. So the ones I was getting were the high. Well, what it is my heart rate bounces up to about 10% of normal, if not maybe a little bit more, when I go on stage, just naturally, the adrenaline. I forgot to tell the doctor that, so I had to have it adjusted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Funny
stuff.
But it grabs you and immediately realize it's a great way to open the book, man. It's like
that's what my editor thought. I was actually, I was sort of, I was on the fence about that.
And we talk about the autobiographies and stuff, and bravo to you that you didn't spend too much time on your upbringing. You just gave the facts, like the bullet points.
Yeah.
I hate when you pick up a book on someone you really wanted to get to know, and they spend like 100 to 200 pages, and then when I was 12 years old, you're like, oh my God, does all this need to be in the book? I want to get to the Guns N' Roses stuff. I want to get to the Velvet Revolver stuff.
I felt really uncomfortable getting into that sort of self-importance thing, or taking yourself too seriously. Oh, like I was like, who cares?
But it was just right. You gave enough where I sort of understand what kind of upbringing you had.
Yeah.
That you had a white father, a black mother. You were brought up in Paris a little bit, then moved back to the States.
I was conceived in Paris. Born in England.
But you got a lot of family still that was over there, and you didn't see them for many years, and then they went to a Guns N' Roses show years later.
Yeah, okay, you got it nailed.
I just want to prove that I read the book, I guess. Yeah, look at you.
But I don't think I spent too much time on any one particular subject. It sort of hits on things, gives a brief synopsis, and moves on.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of people...
I was very uncomfortable writing the book and talking about it. It's not me. It's like, But that was one of the fears
it's called
I had
Flash.
Going into it.
Yeah, I know. What are you going to do?
Actually, it's funny. Last night at the show, the guy who plays guitar now for Guns N' Roses was there. I don't remember his name. I met him. Seemed like a nice fella.
Yeah,
I
don't know him.
Yeah, I also didn't know how much you were into the heroin.
Yeah, I was pretty, a big fan of the H.
Big fan. I always thought it was just heavy drinking and a drug here and there. I didn't know that the heroin was really a major part of your life for a while.
I never took it on the road, and I didn't take it into the studio. It was something. If I was working, I didn't need it, but when we were on off time, I just didn't know what to do with myself, and I would get bored, and I would hook up with somebody, and and then just doing it the one time would start this whole thing rolling. And so that nobody really knew that much about it because it wasn't very public, and I was pretty private about it.
Right.
But anybody who knows us well knew I was very strung out. Anytime that we weren't working.
Wow.
Here's a stupid non-musician question from I'm not a musician, but is there a song you can look at that you did the riff for, and you're like, that's probably the best thing I've ever done?
There's definitely a bunch of songs that I think are amazing, or a riff that I think is amazing, or something that I wish I'd wrote or written rather. There's a Jeff Beck riff called Superstition, with Rod Stewart singing back in the Jeff Beck group, which is the ultimate guitar riff with the wah-wah pedal. You'd have to hear it. Anyway, there's Black Dog by Led Zeppelin. There's an endless list of great riffs. I mean, that's what influences you. That's what sort of makes you take on certain influences and adapt them to your own style and gives you sort of your own identity.
What's your favorite riff that you came up with?
That I came up with?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple cool ones. This new song, or not new song, but the song on the last Velvet Revolver record, which is called Slither, I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah, right on.
Paradise City, I thought was really cool. As much as I didn't think it at the time, Sweet Child of Mine is cool.
Right. Yeah.
Welcome to the Jungle.
How good is it to be in Velvet Revolver?
It's great. It's great. It's great to be having a real band together that's out there doing it for the duration after everything that I've gone through and not really knowing where it was all going, going into the future.
Yeah, it must have driven you crazy just to have this super successful band and just not having any idea if it's just going to blow up the next day. Or...
Well, that didn't drive me crazy so much. It was, I'm a real survivor, so I put up with a lot, very tenacious. So I didn't see it actually ending suddenly until all of a sudden I just walked.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, I felt really relieved, and I just started going out and jamming, and I wasn't very focused as to what was going to be my next career move for a few years.
Did you have any clue, like, what Axl's problem was as far as
was he afraid
doing the shows? Because it became a joke when anyone would go to a Guns N' Roses concert with how long did you have to wait?
I know that really bothered me. But the thing is everybody sort of more or less asks the same questions, and your guess is as good as mine. I have maybe my own opinions inside about what caused him to do that and this and that and the other, but it's not something that I like to sort of go out and publicly analyze. And I didn't do that in the book either.
I'll tell you that, but he spends about 30 or 40 pages. I can't wait to get to that section where he explains why his life's so much better without
no, but
without Axl and that.
With all due respect to Guns N' Roses and Axl, I mean, it was probably one of the better rock and roll bands of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of it. And it's it would have been nice to see it be able to go on forever, but then it was such a dynamic, explosive, and volatile band that it almost seems fitting that it had sort of a volatile end.
Sure. But that's why I brought up how it must feel good to be in Velvet Revolver, because you had to answer Guns N' Roses questions everywhere you went, and now you got other pretty heavy things to talk about with the book and the Velvet Revolver. We saw you a couple years ago at the Hard Rock Velvet Revolver, and it looked like you and everyone else was just having a really good time on stage.
We have a blast.
This was before you guys completely blew up. There was like 400 people there, and you guys didn't care if it was 400 or 40 or 50,000. You guys were just enjoying playing rock and roll.
We got together
very
with that full-on garage band kind of mentality.
Sure.
We actually put it together the same way that I would have put a band together when I was in high school. Putting it out of the recycler, and we were looking for singers before Scott came into the picture.
Looking for guitarists, must have PA.
But,
lights.
The funny thing about, just because you mentioned it, the funny thing about Velvet Revolver, though, was that provided a forum for everybody to ask me questions about Guns N' Roses. So it was that's the reason I wrote the book, is I got such a barrage.
It's like, just read the book.
Yeah, normally I'm not the type to write a book, but it really needed to alleviate some of the pressure of having to deal with all this misrepresentation that's out there through the media.
Yeah, I'm trying not to go back to the book too much because I want people to pick it up for themselves and read it. But we mentioned the heroin thing, and I was amazed that Guns N' Roses starting to blow up, and you didn't have guitars to play because you were pawning them off to get some dope.
Smack,
I was like, wow, is that amazing?
I know. It's like I have very few regrets, if none. But at the same time, there's a couple guitars I wish I knew where they went.
Right. And then they had to get you guitars when Appetite for Destruction was being recorded. I'm like, this is fucked up. This is where it's pretty obvious you wanted to play in a big band, and you finally get the opportunity, and your guitars are gone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, leading up into the recording of Appetite, I was a pretty bad junkie, and then once we got into the studio to record Appetite, I went cold turkey, quit everything, then realized I didn't have any equipment left.
There's probably some people out there like, what? Do you know whose guitar this was?
One of the guitars I had that was great was a Les Paul, like a sort of I'm not sure what year it was, but it was a flame top Les Paul, and it used to be Steve Hunter's. Steve Hunter played with Alice Cooper, and he's the guy that he played a lot of solos that you guys would be familiar with. Anyway, and it was his guitar, and it was really cool. It was a little bit beat up. It had a great history to it, and I wonder how he lost it.
Yeah, right.
How did I get this thing?
Is this? You may not know the answer to this, but it's something that's been bugging me for years. I have to ask you. My Michelle, who is that written about?
That's Michelle Young, and she was a really good friend of mine and my girlfriend's back when I was in junior high school and high school.
And then Axel Bander.
And then
really?
somehow it's funny because, I basically left school and was pretty much a loner for a long time, and then Guns N' Roses came together, and somehow a lot of my high school and junior high school friends from way before all of a sudden sort of came into the picture, and these girls weren't really tuned up to that speed. And so they started mixing up with the likes of our band, and it was interesting because I knew them all. And my girlfriend has been my girlfriend for like 6 years when I was like 13 to 19, and all her friends, all of a sudden, a lot of them got on smack, a lot of them all of them had major problems
just
as a result
destroyed
of
from hanging out.
Yeah. Like a few of them live in Minneapolis now because they needed to go over to someone's house that lives in Minneapolis. That was my old girlfriend because she's clean to go and sober up, and they still live there. So a trip, so Guns N' Roses took a lot of people down. A lot of people wanting to jump on the bandwagon and hang out and have a good time, and then trying to keep up with that ended up sort of going by the wayside.
And you didn't have a home for how many years?
Well, I always found some place to crash. I didn't live anywhere till I got an apartment after the first Guns N' Roses tour was over in 1989.
Right, but before that, you were going from your
Bed to
mom's
bed,
house, your dad's house, grandma's house, girlfriend's house, strip clubs, recording studios.
Yeah, recording studios.
Where strippers live.
Strippers.
There's a whole apartment complex in L.A. where the strippers live.
That was a great place. You would have liked it. There was a lot of spirit in that building.
There's a place like that I hang out here, but they're all fat chicks.
Well, that's fat chicks do it all.
They try harder.
It's true. Sorry.
To the fat chicks?
Huh?
What? Sorry to the fat chicks?
Yeah, why are you saying sorry to the fat chicks?
Because probably he never had to bang one.
Are you kidding? I like big girls.
Yeah.
Silence.
Silence is there's nothing wrong with silence on the radio. It's a relaxed atmosphere.
Do you have that kind of comfortable silences on the radio?
Finally, yeah.
That's
but when we first started radio, it was like, someone talk. But now you just kind of let the moment just be for a second, I guess. I don't know.
Let it sink in. Cool. Especially when a joke bombs. We like letting the person have to sit there and just suck it up, eat their balls.
Well, Jimmy brought that to the radio show. Back in the day when Ant and I were doing it and we would bomb on something, there was a panic. You would feel uncomfortable. You would heat up. And the other guy would try to cover for the other one, right? Jimmy was the one that brought it to the show like, hey, let's just stop the show and enjoy that
Point
bomb.
out the bomb.
Yeah, there's nothing better than someone just bombing on a joke.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's just awful. Yeah.
Comedians are the worst because they love going to clubs and watching other comics just eat their balls.
There's nothing better than sitting in the back of the club. I've watched my friends just suffer, and they're pulling every fucking trick out of the bag, and they're just up there dying,
flailing. Yeah.
There's nothing more wonderful.
Yeah, we
than
have
watching
shows
your
like
friends.
that too. Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Well, I know from being in a couple of bands, you never want to see the guy that replaced you playing with your band.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch that. You want to see him fuck up or sound like shit.
I was talking earlier about this with someone. I went to a Guns N' Roses show in Vegas just to go see what that was all about.
Wow.
So I'd never stood in front of Guns N' Roses and act, but I wasn't allowed in. So
get out of here.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
They wouldn't let you in?
They wouldn't let me in.
Well, you gotta get a disguise.
Well, I didn't know that was going to happen.
You gotta get a disguise.
They wouldn't let you in.
Yeah.
Wow. What did they say to you? You can't. You can't.
I think it was the manager at the time, and he just said, what happened was I called up one guy, one of the promoters, and said, "Can you get me tickets into the gig?" And that was the same night as the show. I flew from L.A. to Las Vegas, got to the Hard Rock, and everybody in the building knew I was coming. It was like this big thing. And so I got to the room and was getting ready to go down there with my wife and everything. And the security came to my room, knocked on the door, and said, "No, we can't let you out." Yeah. Either stay here or leave the building.
You know what it was? They probably didn't want you to overshadow the guitarist.
No, I think they thought
That'd be a
that if
distraction.
Axl was aware that I was in there, it would intimidate his performance.
Oh, really?
Wow, man.
It seems to me, I never met the guy in my life, but it seems to me like he was afraid, like Carly Simon. A lot of people have that performance fear, and just they have a terror.
I think he's a real perfectionist, and he's especially like putting out this record that he's a little bit worried about
how it's going to be perceived.
Yeah. He wants it to be amazing and have everybody perceive it as such, and he's a little intimidated by his own success.
You know what's interesting about that, going back to the book, but I can't believe, I'm amazed at how easy a lot of these classic Guns N' Roses songs came about.
Yeah.
Because you would think, especially because you do read about Axl being this perfectionist, supposedly, like some of these great songs that we all know and love, like were made in hours.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hours. You came up with a riff, and someone comes in the room like, "Hey, keep playing that," and then all of a sudden
you assume it's like
they fucked around with the lyrics a little bit,
grinding it out.
That's true. It would happen in a few hours, in an evening, basically. But I think that was just the chemistry of those particular five guys just having a good time together, and it just happened.
Like Sweet Child O' Mine, I'll give you an example. You can't come up with a riff, and they figure something out, and then they're stuck, and Axl just to himself, is this really true? And he's just saying to himself, where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Like, he's trying to figure out vocally where to go with this song, and someone goes, just say that.
There was,
and it was that simple?
There was a producer that we were working with, and it was something like that. That was how I remembered it. It was, we got to a certain section in the song,
and you all were
just
like,
where do we go? And someone was like, hey, that's it, and we'll just do that.
Yeah, where do we go now? But cool. It really was just, where do we go
I
now?
believe in spontaneity in rock and roll. I think that you have to. I'm a perfectionist to an extent as well. Nobody beats me up more than myself about guitar playing and all that kind of shit. But you have to go with the vibe of like you can't sit and think about it too much. You have to just sort of let it happen and see what comes out at the end of the day.
Creativity is
can't analyze it.
Creativity is so weird because sometimes doing a radio show, like sometimes it comes like it's so easy, like, wow, you're just sitting back and it's happening. And then other times, as a creative person, you're struggling, like, God, how do we get something going here?
Yeah,
it's so weird. But sometimes you just hit that groove and you go.
Yeah, when you hit that moment where all of a sudden you can't seem to come up with anything and you start trying, and then it just gets it's just like quicksand. And that's the worst feeling for a creative person. You know? But it does, it happens.
But you feel lazy when it's not happening. You're like, I'm a bum. I'm not doing anything creative.
Totally.
I'm just fucking off. But it kind of has to be. It has to inspire you on some level, just to. Oh, okay, here it is.
Yeah,
it moves.
When it does happen, you're like, that's the best feeling in the world. I don't think anything beats that.
How close were you to joining Poison back in the day? That made me laugh in the book.
Yeah, I know. It was. I don't know what happened. Was their first guitar player, this guy named Matt, called me up and said that he was going back to Pennsylvania to his girlfriend was pregnant. He was going to get married and all that, and I should hook up with Poison. I was out in L.A. just looking for a gig, always just wandering from group to group and just picking up where I could and trying to get exposure and all that kind of stuff. And Poison was by far the biggest club band at that time, and says, you should go try out for Poison, And I was like, there's an image thing that was a real contrast.
A little bit of a problem.
Yeah, and so, but I went down to their rehearsal place in L.A. and they gave me a tape of like 4 or 5 songs, and I learned those songs and came back the next day and played them with the band and kicked the shit out of them. It's like, and so they were pretty much stunned by that, because I don't think Matt was really what you consider a great guitar player, but I had a good feel, So they had me come down another day and I played, and then we had this long conversation about fashion, and that's when it really, the obvious became really even more apparent.
I just imagine after you ripped up the audition and killed, that the next step was they handed you mascara and you went, whoa.
Well, yeah, it really the basis for the sort of fashion discrepancy was they asked me about my shoes, like what kind of shoes are you going to wear, and I was wearing some what I considered cool beat up moccasins, and I was like, what's the issue with the shoes? And then I think we went on to like, well, what kind of outfit, and they sort of knew that they were getting nowhere with it. And so when I was leaving that day, though, Cece was walking in, and that was the classic part. part of the whole thing. Was I was walking out and Cece was walking in. We didn't know each other, but he was like dolled up in like light blue and white and blonde teased hair, and that was an audition. I guess it was a sort of dress rehearsal to him, and I just said, "That's the guy."
Yeah, enjoy the gig,
and
dude.
I got the phone call saying that's not going to work out. We're going to use CC, and I was like, all things considered, it was sort of a relief, you know. And I moved on to do some other stuff, and consequently, Guns N' Roses started, and then we became sort of like, you know, sort of pseudo rival bands in LA because we hated them, and they didn't necessarily hate us, but we had such a bad attitude they couldn't help it. They had to hate us because we hated them so much, and that's the way it went.
How do you feel if you're Poison though, and you're blue getting slashed over shoes? Fucking idiots.
Yeah, well,
that was the scene back then. Everyone was wearing the makeup.
No, you know, but CC is so perfect for that band. He couldn't have been anybody else. It was a match made in heaven for them.
And there was a moment Guns N' Roses like slightly went that way with glam, and then said, "You know what? We don't need to do this."
Well, there was we came from sort of the Hanoi Rocks, New York Dolls. Kind of, you know, like early Rolling Stones kind of mentality. The glam thing in LA was more like trying to put together like a mixture of Kiss and T-Rex or something. It was very glam. David Bowie, all that. We were sort of like a gutter glam. And so we had that look, but we sort of, you know, got sort of tired of having to make the effort to do it. It wasn't something that we really tried real hard. It wasn't like an image that we were concocting. You know what I mean? That was sort of what we wore at the time, and it just started to fall off and just become jeans and T-shirts.
It's definitely a refreshing change from a lot of the hairband stuff that was going on at the time. You guys came out, and people were just like, it was a kick in the ass, like, holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
this is rock.
Definitely a good time. I think Motley Crue was the first glam band that came out of, like, serious glam band, and that was a real image for them, and I think everybody else was sort of following that.
They kind of,
A lot of everybody was just trying to look like a bunch of fags. Right?
that's what it boiled down to. It was like, what the fuck are these guys doing, man?
You played on a... I'm sorry.
No, it's just with the big teased out hair and even the choreography and the videos.
Remember bands like
are
White
you guys
Lion?
fucking each other? What are you doing? yeah, White Lion.
Right.
You played on I Ain't No Nice Guy.
Yeah,
with Ozzy and Lemmy. It's one of my favorite. That's unheralded songs.
That is a great song, and Lemmy wrote it. Lemmy's a great song.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
I was really proud to play on that song. I still actually have the lyrics from the original when he first gave them to me, and in my acoustic guitar case. You know, because it's a great lyrics. It really says a lot about a lot of us. You know.
Yeah. It's really great, and it sounded almost like when he did it. Because I've asked Lemmy's manager. I wanted to hear a version with just Lemmy singing. I'm an Ozzy fanatic, but it sounded like they were in different studios when they
the original
sang.
version with just Lemmy singing the whole thing, I have to admit, is better.
Yeah.
It's more personal.
Yeah, there's a live version.
I actually might go back and cover that song one day.
Oh, it's great, dude.
Oh, Jimmy, I can't believe you actually said something that kind of wasn't pro Ozzy.
No.
I was just saying.
Ozzy's great on it, but there's something about the way Lemmy sings it. It sounds so him. And when Ozzy comes in and sings it, it sounds like Ozzy singing Lemmy's song.
But he would never admit to anything like that.
No, I would on that one though.
Jimmy would suck Ozzy's dick.
Jimmy's the biggest Ozzy fan.
It's not gay if you're humming Crazy Train. But no, it just sounded like they were in different studios. And Lemmy, when you hear Lemmy singing something like that, or like 1916, it's like to hear Lemmy kind of singing like a ballad is just great because he's such an animal. I'm singing something soft.
It really comes from the heart with him.
Yeah. Ozzy. It begins and ends with Ozzy with Jimmy.
But also, I mean, I'm a Motorhead freak too, and Iommi, you have to love Iommi, right?
Yeah, I love Iommi.
Oh, good. We had that.
No, he's great. We Velvet Revolver opened for Sabbath on the Monsters of Rock tour a couple of years back. It was a great tour. It was great to see Black Sabbath all back together and doing it. I mean, they sounded amazing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had who was it? Stuart Copeland from the Police over. We interviewed him, the drummer, and I asked him about Bill Ward, and he went, "Who is that?" And I wanted to spit on him.
Oh, yeah.
He did not know Bill Ward.
He seemed clueless in general with music. You didn't know that Puff Daddy redid one of his songs. It was a little strange, man.
It's like he had a great band. I mean, it's wonderful, but enough already. How do you not know Bill Ward?
Looks like he really wasn't into doing the rock thing. He kind of was just thrown into that. Right?
Yeah, I think
he
so.
Seemed like
Who are we talking about again?
Stuart Copeland.
That's what I thought you said.
That makes me happy, by the way, too. That Slash, you said, who is he? Fuck him.
Stuart Copeland is the drummer. The Police. He's sort of a college drummer kind of guy. He's really, really good technical drummer, though. I got to say that. But I couldn't imagine him knowing shit about shit.
No, he's a rock star. He's got a rock star vibe. It's like, and then we get it.
One other music thing from the book, I was really surprised to read that you were a Cars fan, or you heard the Cars' first album.
Yeah.
Because all the other bands you mentioned in the book, of course, Quiet Riot, and it runs the gamut. But then the Cars.
Yeah, the Cars. Well, there was during the very beginning of what you would consider the new wave run, the Cars were like one of the first bands that came out, and that first record was really cool.
I love the Cars,
but
I
really cool
just
record.
Can't imagine Slash would be into a band like the Cars. That's all.
No, I like the Cars, and Elliot Easton is a great guitar player, and they just had a very cool kind of sound and songwriting kind of thing.
I think again that was another band that kind of other bands took up that
yeah, well, by 1982, we had a lot of bands like the Cars. Even the Cars were the Cars.
I thought was interesting when I read, 'cause I haven't read as much as Opie has in the book, but you talk about your mom being, I think, a clothing designer, or she designed all these things for these cool. So
David Bowie and others.
Bowie, and as a kid, who was it? George Harrison, and apparently your mother said that you did meet Lennon. But you don't remember meeting John Lennon.
She did a suit for Lennon, and she also did something for Ringo Starr, which I did meet him. But and I still actually know him from that period. But John Lennon, I don't remember ever meeting. But she did do some clothes for him.
It's great.
Damn, if you had to remember
she made clothes for a lot of people. I could sit here and just go through this long list. It was very cool. And I, of course, didn't totally appreciate it at that age. But looking back on it, I said, that was good people to be hanging around.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, like, when you talk about going into the family history, like, you went into just enough family history, like, where we got to know your mother, your father a little bit, but it wasn't so much. Some people go back generations because they want to fill book space.
Yeah.
But you didn't do that. But you made it, like, interesting to read, because, of course, you want to know something.
Yeah, with that, we're getting the word he's got to go.
Oh, okay.
Slash is a busy man.
Over there? Oh, no. Who's saying that?
I swear, usually we do that as a gag, but they really did give me a note saying that you got to go. When we're bored with someone, we'll go, they're saying you got to go, and the person will start looking around like,
who said that? I'm alone.
No one said.
You said that.
I'm alone. But I swear to God, I can't even show you the post-it. You really do have to go to other interviews.
His people are saying, I came with nobody. What are you talking about?
I did that in front of Ed Asner.
It was the worst moment ever. Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore. Who doesn't love Ed Asner?
I love Ed, yeah.
Well, you don't want to hear this story.
Is that what you do? You told him.
It was terrible.
You know what? We got to go.
He was Anthony was playing poker at where were we? L.A.
It was the Commerce Casino,
and I was doing the show with Jimmy and a few other people, and Ed Asner was boring the hell out of us. I just looked down like, they're giving me the sign that you got to go. Or what did it?
Ben did. Our old producer moved a certain way, and Ope said, they're saying that you got to go. And he goes, and Ed goes, what do you mean? And he goes, well, that's the signal they give us when the guest is being boring. And my heart sank. I'm like, this is Lou Grant.
Then he called me the Destroyer, got ugly, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it was very
But they're really telling me you have to go. I swear to God.
All right.
You're probably doing a million interviews today. Are you doing any signings today? Did
I got a signing tonight in Jersey. Where in Jersey?
I wish I had it in front of me for you.
What?
I don't know. What?
Bookends.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Bookends.
Oh, Bookends in Ridgewood. That's an independent store. That's, okay.
So we did one in Huntington in Long Island yesterday.
Huntington at the book review?
Yeah.
They get everybody
and
at
then
that
we did Barnes & Noble downtown.
You got a picture with Bill Clinton.
Yeah, I got a picture with Bill. Hey,
outside that bookstore.
Slash, always a pleasure. We love you. You know that. The book is awesome. Right. I was only going to read a few pages because very busy these days, but I'm like, holy crap, I can't put this thing down.
Oh, that's cool. And this is my first book, so I definitely didn't really know what I was doing.
I can't wait to read the rest. I just got to the part where actually one of your friends... Well, leave it for the book.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Leave it for the
See,
book.
that's what I mean. I'm that excited. I want to just blurt out everything I'm reading.
Sorry, that's something that happens here in town.
Yeah.
I've never seen him actually take a book and make sure the intern gave him a good one-sheet on it.
Really?
No.
You don't understand. He never reads a... Not that you don't read a book. I don't mean that.
I read.
Never. I don't mean that. I mean the guest books. He'll always just go, I got nothing on this one.
But a good handful of guys I talk to have no shame in going, I didn't read it. But I heard, I Googled and said some stuff about. Yeah.
Most books are a waste of time. Let's be honest. I mean, Dirt was amazing.
I stopped actually reading rock and roll books a long time ago because
you read Dirt. They're all your boys.
I know, so I didn't read it. I know.
Oh my god! That's amazing. As far as
read it, I got turned off of rock books a long time ago because they were just the product of a lot of conjecture and sensationalism and this and that and the other. It was like somebody's fantasy to sort of take the topic and make up stuff and fill a book with it. But an autobiography or like Dirt or the Aerosmith book, that's where the guys actually sit there.
She even has her coat on. Jeez, give us a break here. Velvet, just give us the big Velvet Revolver. Where are you at with that?
We're going back on the road. We just did a 2.5 month stint in the States. We're going to Japan and Australia next month. And we start in Europe in January. So a lot going on all at the same time.
Yeah, nice. I love the Velvet Revolver stuff big time.
I appreciate it.
The book is great. It's called Slash, and obviously it's going to probably hit the bestseller list. It's fantastic, man.
That'd be cool.
All right, look, and now this guy's coming close to drag you out.
But thanks for having me.
No
It's
problem,
great talking to you guys. And
great having you in here,
Let
man.
me play Guitar Hero for a second just to remind you how bad I am at it.
It was great to watch our own Danny really freaking out.
All right.
And folding under pressure.
You're folding under pressure, Henry.
She's picking up her pocketbook. We got to get out of here. All right, it's Slash, everyone. Opie and Anthony. We'll be back in a bit.
Thanks, man.
Do you realize who you hired?
He's a disruptive influence.
Anthony. He happens to be a dwarf.
What horrible people.
Our new bosses said you guys can get as crazy as you want.
They keep creating new ways to celebrate mediocrity.
Opie and Anthony Show.
It's psychotic.
Welcome to the jungle, baby.
Opie and Anthony. Slash was great.
Yeah.
What a cool guy, man.
Ty in Nevada thinks I wrecked the book. Ty, what's up?
He didn't.
Ty.
Yeah, hey, thanks for ruining the book for me, Opie.
How did he ruin the book for you? What, he didn't tell you the Colonel Mustard did it in the fucking study?
He read the whole fucking thing to me.
No, he didn't. He told you a few points of it.
The whole fucking thing.
Yes.
The book is pretty thick. I've read 220 pages. I referred to maybe 4 or 5 pages in the book so far.
You just need to let me read the book and then not worry about asking him all these questions about the book.
How about you don't be so stupid, and if that's what you need, then you turn off the fucking interview for a while.
Excellent point.
But I love
You
the interview,
dope.
and I love you guys, man. You guys rock. But
Just flee in the interview. Plus, it's about 400. It's I guess we go 460 pages in this book. I've read
Absolutely.
almost half of it.
And look at this. Right here, so I'm going to ruin this for you. Page 361. I collapsed like a rag doll in the hallway. ... No need to buy the book. You've heard it all.
You
all
ruined
right,
it.
man, I'm getting nowhere. Punching out.
And the last sentence. They are definitely a product of their parents. In fact, they're a mirror of their parents. They are both defiant, yet sweet. The end.
Wow, you just ruined the ending.
Harry Potter dies. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, language, Opie.
Let's go to Joe the trucker. Joe!
Fresh.
How do you do, Joe?
Hey, you guys
Find they're
wanted to
uncomfortable, do you?
What's up, Joe?
Hey, you guys wanted to count on Tuesday of the number of times the Erock is jabbed at every day?
Yeah.
Yesterday it was 16, and that includes true, really, really brutal ones by Jimmy and Anthony while the REM was playing before he left.
So, wow, we hit him hard yesterday. Today,
Yeah, hit him hard.
Today
That Jimmy said that his fiancée was going to hide the cookies or throw the cookies away or something like that.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Joe.
I didn't mean this.
By the way, it's got to be pointed out that Danny pretty much lost his mind.
Did you get a picture with him?
We saw a side of Danny today that I quite frankly haven't seen yet.
Yes, sober.
He was he was in a bit of a panic in the presence of Slash. He brought in Guitar Hero 3. He set it up all nice. And the whole reason he set it up was not so Slash could play. It was so he could play in front of Slash and show off.
No, I wanted to play with. Or actually, I wanted to beat Slash because I thought that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But but no, he had a good time playing it. But I could not calm myself down.
No, you were shaking and then you blew it. We want you to do Cliffs of Dover again because I bet you now you'll master it now that he's not in here anymore.
He was what he was doing was first clicking through the menus, various menus, really fast. Like just click, tick, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. And then expert hits expert. And
I go, you're an expert? He goes, yeah, I am. And
scrolls
he says,
way down the song list.
Gotta get to those last ones.
Yeah, clips it over, kicks it off, starts up, and it's just like clang, 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 fail. You don't know if it's Slash. It's just like, oh, wow, yeah, that's
good.
What happened there?
You're pretty good, man. You might want to start with slow.
yeah. It's like,
he finished 5% of the song.
Jesus. 5% in front of Slash?
So then you recalibrated.
Yeah.
Because obviously you blamed it on the
calibration.
HDTV,
yeah, there's lag.
the lag.
See, some TVs have an audio-visual lag.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Slash, I guess, did a design on your guitar?
Yeah, I went out to Guitar Center yesterday, and I was trying to decide what to try to get signed. And it was either just spend, like $20 on a pick guard and then get a Les Paul when I have the money, or just get a fucking Les Paul. And I was like, fuck that.
You bought a Les Paul just so Slash could sign it?
Absolutely.
How much?
It's amazing.
You're a huge Slash fan? I didn't know.
Who is? I mean, it's Slash.
But, I mean, is he one of your big... wow, you're panicking. Relax.
Yeah,
my
because you're
God. E-Rock just gave it to Opie.
How much is that guitar?
I'm not going to do it.
It's not a very expensive one, but it ran me about
Wait, Danny, I don't know much about you. So Guns N' Roses is huge for you?
Oh, sure.
One of the biggest?
Sure. Definitely top 10. Absolutely top 10.
Top 10. It's not
10,
good.
I think.
If not top 5.
I think it's in most people's top 10.
Yeah, how can they not?
I mean,
be?
Slash is probably definitely a top 5 all time guitarist.
This is not as impressive as I thought. Who's higher than Slash on the list?
Yeah.
Well, you got to have guys like Clapton in there.
Clapton is God.
Well, yeah.
He was a guitar.
I can't
panicking. Jesus.
Yeah, I am panicking.
Oh, when E-Rock touched it, like if Opie grabbed it, you would know he's either not going to break it or break it on purpose. With E-Rock, he could just fumble it.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
Fumble.
I had some garlic butter sauce on my hands.
Yeah, mayo smear.
Can E-Rock play a song on that?
No.
Yeah. Wait,
Kirk Hammett, to answer your question, another person I would put in my top 5.
Oh, yeah. No,
Absolutely.
yeah, I met Kirk.
So you're into guitar gods.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I wanted to...
So who's your number one guitar god? Jimmy Page?
Do you play guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It sounds silly because he might not be as technical as Kirk Hammett, but I got to go James Hetfield. I got to go James.
With the whole package. Attitude.
Oh, yeah, he's so badass.
Playing.
He's cute, too.
Singing. Cute.
He is. It's funny.
Short hair or long.
Long.
Doesn't even matter.
No, it was so funny.
Long, silly.
Long.
When they played on SNL, did you see them? They were on Saturday Night Live, and it was so weird because I was sitting there watching them warm up. And
Jimmy.
No, honestly, Brewer brought me when he was on SNL, and Metallica was the music guest. So I got to watch them play Fuel and Memory
You
Remains.
dropped something. 20 names.
25 feet away. I'm just watching the song over and over. I mean,
Yeah, fan wants to call me out on my tattoo that I have.
Oh, what tattoo you got?
It's from the Metallica live Binge and Purge album.
Oh, yes, of course.
Right on your right shoulder. There it is.
Cool.
Call it the scary guy.
So Slash, can I see that? You want to do it? Are you panicking?
Yes, very much so.
All right, here, take.
Slash already sweated my deodorant off, so now you're making me
All
smell.
right, take your guitar. Show us what he put on your.
Do you like Lars Ulrich?
I love Lars. I do.
Lars is a faggot.
No, he's not.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
we like Lars.
So yeah, Slash.
I'm not gonna.
What
do
he did the skull and crossbones. He draws on it.
Yeah, like a skull and crossbones, wearing a top hat and smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a little banner which looks like he wrote GNFNR, which of course Guns N' fucking Roses.
Yeah,
and then Slash.
But now you can't play the thing.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it.
That is now a piece of art that goes on a wall.
Like I purposely took a trip to Guitar Center.
How much did the guitar cost you?
Well, I could have went a little more expensive.
Hold it. I don't hold it.
It's like $450.
That's worth it, man.
You just increased the value of it too.
I don't know. I was going to go big time, but I was like,
no, don't be an idiot. That's fine.
That's fine.
Gonna go big time.
Why would you? I mean, that's a guitar you're never going to play. It looks cool. No. It has the signature. You're just ready to put it on.
I never got a guitar or something signed, but I got to be honest. Looking at that is a cool idea.
It's gorgeous. I mean, the guitar itself is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now it's just.
Don't say gorgeous again.
It's gorgeous.
People are yelling. Not people.
Look at the flame.
One person. CM Mark. A regular to the radio show, he goes, how could you not mention Johnny Cash? Do you know Johnny Cash is a guitar player?
No, he was good,
But I mean, you don't think
I don't listen to Johnny Cash songs going, wow, listen to him play. And I might be showing how stupid I am.
If we were talking
but
top 10 songwriters, I would definitely include Johnny Cash.
I love Johnny Cash.
But as top 5 guitar players of all time, I'm not going to include Johnny
Randy
Cash.
Rhoads was a wonderful guitar player, guitarist.
Yeah.
The Wall's my favorite Johnny Cash song, if anybody gives a turkey.
By the way, thank you, Sam, for reminding me. This is where this is coming from. Danny, it didn't go unnoticed that you got so comfortable with Slash, you decided to make yourself part of the show. Sat down, got your microphone. Thank you. Someone else, Jimmy, help me out.
He actually snapped at someone to get him coffee.
Right, he sat down all comfortable.
Dan,
I think then something happened in his mind where he went, oh my God, what am I doing? And then you were gone.
Slash sat on my left in between me and Anthony. Here's what Danny did on my right. He sat down and did the old, I'm adjusting the headphones sit.
We
were playing guitar, leaned up on the console.
Leaned up, he's
comfortable.
We had just been playing a little, me and my buddy Slash were playing Guitar Hero over there on the couch, and I thought that was going to be a topic of discussion, so I thought, let me make myself available should it become a topic.
Yeah. You want to play a little Guitar Hero 3?
Well, who gives a shit about that?
Exactly. How about Slash?
I want to hear clips of Dover. You're bragging about it because I know
what's going to happen.
Because I go,
you're gonna eat your balls.
I'm gonna eat my balls
he's doing the level. It's like beginner. What are the levels?
You got easy, medium, hard, and expert.
Thank you. So he goes to expert. I'm like, expert, and he looks and makes sure Slash is listening. Oh yeah, I'm an expert at this.
I wish Slash would have taken the guitar and broken it over your head. The good Les Paul. Like an Animal House scene, just smashed it
By the way,
the wall.
If he knew me better, he would have.
By the way, Shane Schneider from Philly, very pissed off that you didn't. Was it Shane? Oh no, I did update it. I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. I want to give the credit where credit's due.
Where credit is due.
Now it might be. Oh yeah, it was Gabe from Staten Island. Very pissed off that you didn't mention the great Papa Rock as far as guitarists go. He's the greatest fiddler of all time. Fiddling.
Papa Rock's not a great guitarist, though.
No.
No, this is Literal Jim. That's my new character on the show.
Literal Jim.
Yeah, no, Literal Larry. Larry Literal. Larry Literal was his name.
By the way, Dumbledore is gay. Thank you. Of course.
He can't really technically be gay because he's not like a real person.
Yeah. Let's go.
Larry Literal strikes again.
Larry Literal.
I like Larry Literal. Let's go with Cliffs of Dover. Come on.
Okay.
A little piece.
Let's see if this works.
Give him a little track over here.
Why do you have Ripe written on your shirt, then?
It's the people that Sam and I did that online
remember
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Remember me and Oak were offered to do it, and we said there's no fucking way we'd ever do something like that.
And Sam and I jumped at the chance. Like eager boys.
All right, he's clicking through. He's going all the way to the bottom.
Fiddling to Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah. Bring it up.
You don't know this one. Wait, it's very hard.
So, is this the hardest song to do on Guitar Hero 3?
It's one of them.
Hold on. There's only a couple others?
It's one of them. Yeah.
Eric Johnson.
All right.
I mean, I still can't beat a few of these.
All right, here we go. This is Danny attempting Cliffs of Dover. Guitar Hero 3.
I gotta calibrate the lag. Calibrate the lag. It's not syncing up, dude. I can
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, okay,
How about the lag between what your brain and your fingers?
Wait.
How about you go to level 1 and do Fog
You go to my career and you'll see my score.
assholes right now, man. Hello, exactly.
But the magic.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Eric and his fucking numb fingers will try to
Cliffs
do
of
better than
Dover,
you.
I 4-starred it. There's my proof.
Yeah, okay.
There's my high score. 179.
No, that's some 13-year-old from Staten Island. Exactly. Brought his game in today. Now do Cliffs of Dover.
I'm going to calibrate the lag again.
All right, calibrate the lag. Go ahead.
Calibrate the lag.
Do whatever you need to do, Danny.
And wait, the notes come flying at you, and you have to hit the colors with your left hand?
And strum. And
it's ridiculous.
Strum at the same time.
It's ridiculous.
And work the whammy bar.
Oh, yeah. That's good for your star.
And then just rock.
Yeah, you got to do a little rocking. Does he have Pal Talk for the Pal Talkers? So they can see him rocking.
Yeah, let me get
the rocking part's the best.
Coming number 1.
A lot of people just writing boo.
So they should write hiss.
Wait, he's calibrating though.
That's what it sounds like. A little snapping.
And it's off by nothing, so apparently I just really suck.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
you did good. You did good. You fumbled through it.
Let's give it one more shot.
Go ahead, Dan. Another shot.
Don't worry. There's only about maybe right now, maybe 750,000 people listening.
Unless you believe the Daily News, which is 11 people listening.
Yeah. All right, here's
Are you making the clicking?
Fumble. They're calling him Fumble Door.
We're miking the actual guitar so you can hear the.
So you can hear the clicking of it.
Yeah,
That's great.
All right, here we go.
It's gonna sound awesome. Why am I doing this on the radio?
Your tool. Here we go.
Nice. Hold on, start over again.
Holy. Dude, oh my God, he didn't get through one note.
Let's see what percentage
What
that was.
happened? Was Mars adjusting your mics?
Can you make it go
3%?
slower?
3%. 3%. That's pretty good.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to challenge me at home,
All right,
they're welcome to. My
here we
gamer
go.
tag is
Here
hello
we go.
exactly. Dude,
Stop fiddling, they're saying.
I'm hitting it the way I hit it at home, bro.
Crowd is getting vicious.
Then maybe your home calibration is off and your TV thinks you're better than you are.
This just proves you can't do anything without drinking.
Yeah, maybe that's the calibration you need.
All right, well, we could experiment with that.
Here we go. You just need to be mellow, man. Here we go.
Dude.
Oh.
Good job.
All right, well, I'll be more than happy to kick everybody's ass.
All right, here's a beer.
Oh, God.
Now wait, Danny, that was level what? That's the hard level? Don't go with expert. Why don't you just go with the new guy?
Yeah, maybe you need to warm up. Why don't you do slow ride? Bam.
Yeah, do Smoke on the Water.
Now give us a cool song.
All right, but it's not a question of the number of notes that are coming at me. It's that if the timing is off, obviously when I try to hit even a few notes,
No, we
it's going
get
to be
it.
off.
We hear you.
We finally found a bit though for you.
All right, you want me to knock it down to hard? I'll go down.
It's Danny sucking at video games.
I don't know. You guys can pick. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
How about whatever you think you can do without butchering it?
How about
Paint It Black? How about that? I like that song.
That's too easy. Go down a little further. Paranoid.
All right, let's hear this.
Here, let's hear some Sabbath. Here we go.
This couldn't have worked out any other way. I just want you people
Why
to know
you
that.
kicking ass?
This is perfect for us. We don't want to hear you doing it right. Who gives a shit?
Of course.
All right, here we go. Paranoid.
That wouldn't be any fun.
Oh.
Yeah, I could see this on.
It's like Space Invaders.
Oh, a 50-note streak.
I gotta get used to the timing.
It's
a little early.
Yeah, he's rocking it though.
Yes, he is. I would get through one note.
Oh.
So now I have star power, Jimmy. So what I do to activate my star power is I have to lift up my guitar like I'm a big rock star and I get extra points.
I wish that made you overdose.
Yeah. He's got star power.
If only I could be good at something in real life and not.
You're a good boy.
No, he's got this one figured out.
It's the timing. The timing is just slightly different than it is on my TV.
This is pretty cool, actually. I hate it.
He's rocking. Look at his rock meter.
He's got the rock meter pinned, right?
Yeah.
I've only played this a couple times. Kind of cool.
It's hard.
It is hard.
You missed one, fuck.
You dropped something.
It's like listening to someone play piano with catcher's mitts on.
Star power ready. 50-note streak.
That sound is maddening.
It really is awful.
Tick, 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 tick.
They should have this game with tambourines.
Well, they kind of that's coming out. It's called Rock Band. The microphone has a built-in tambourine.
Oh no! Good job, Danny.
Star power, yeah.
200 note streak. Wow.
All right, good. From the easier level, you're
good. All right.
Wow.
That doesn't really.
And he gets a big U-Rock, of course.
All right, go back to one more try at
One more expert on.
Yeah, how about anything on expert?
Expert.
I'm telling you, the timing is off.
He says timing again. I'm going to bite his face. That one you did fine.
Your timing is not gorgeous.
Exactly.
Your tap timing is off.
Why don't you sit down and kick your feet up and talk about it for a few minutes?
Yeah, we're keeping your seat warm over here, Danny.
Thank you.
We'll have the post-interview.
Were you mad that Slash sat where you wanted to sit? We'll make sure next time he sits on the couch. Fucking.
Don't worry, they're working on the Opie, Anthony, and Danny promos as we speak.
Opie, Anthony, Danny. That fucking big ragu hairdo bugs me.
I'm growing it out, Jim, for Afro Wars.
Oh yeah, is Afro Wars continuing or what?
Yeah,
Did Sam give up on it?
I don't think he got a haircut.
Is this a tough song to play?
Yeah.
In real life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Close the Door, forget about it.
Who's
Eric Johnson, I think?
Yeah.
You got it this time. This is the one.
Everyone could suck my cock. I'll make a fucking video later today, and everybody, and I'll post
We
it
will
for
suck your
everybody.
cock. It will sound better.
You just got an achievement, actually.
Oh, for sucking so much?
It was
for
called
failing a song 5 times, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You got the blowing it achievement.
Nice.
Good job.
You want to try Than? Since you're so good at Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
I'm good at the piano, a real instrument. That's why I stopped playing Guitar Hero.
Hey, what happens if we push save on this now? Does that fuck up your stats?
No.
Oh, all right.
I wish I had more time to calibrate
We all
the
wish
lag.
we did, Dan.
To calibrate my lag.
Well, the listeners wish you didn't because they're bored shitless.
Yeah, I know. This is not compelling.
All right. Thank you, Danny.
You think the listeners were a little bored with it?
I don't know. Sounds like he's jerking off. Sonny Pirelli's writing. Sonny, what's up, buddy?
Hey, listen, back in the olden days before the internet dating scene, you know, they had those party lines where you'd connect with people one-on-one.
Right.
And it sounds like Danny was using one of those jerk-off devices that they would use over the phone.
Wow.
What's a jerk-off device that you...
Hold on, that was the comedy hero. And, like, the button you were hitting just was way off. You got 0% of a joke out.
Oh, boy, I'm
Comedy Hero 3. Yeah, you couldn't get past the Henny Youngman.
He fucked up. Take
level.
my please, wife. No, wrong.
You got a long ways before you get up to Richard Pryor, my friend.
Certainly did. It's not even up to Aaron Pryor.
Oh. All right, poor Aaron Pryor. All right, hey,
yeah,
line of the day. I gotta go home.
I'm so tired right now. I feel like Pesci in JFK. I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah, we
sat down his little wig, going to Ford. What? A little wig.
We did a lot of overtime lately, and we got to go home, which kind of sucks because people are noticing. Wow, they're finally doing extra time.
Those people.
Anyone else appreciating the extra time? I'm reading this last night, going, "Oh fuck, they're not going to be appreciating tomorrow when we leave early."
35 minutes. Those people can kiss my bottom. Excuse my French.
Are we ready for line of the day, or you want to just do the plug and get out? Because I really do have to leave today. I got some shit to do.
Language.
No, we can play them just in no particular order.
Huh?
We can play them just not in a particular order.
What does that mean?
Everyone's a winner. All of them. It's a three-way tie.
All right, BulldogFantasy.net sponsors your line of the day.
Here you go.
Hey, tomorrow's the, well, that's a different sponsor, but I know we're talking about football. I can't wait for Anthony's picks tomorrow.
Yes.
Using his philosophy where he goes with the team name.
Just the team names and how they would react in real life.
Baby boy.
That's my picks.
So you
bet them and win.
You got BulldogFantasy.net, the one site on the web that offers scouting and stats, live scoring, personal customization, and it's absolutely free to fantasy football fans everywhere. So if you're doing that fantasy football thing, why don't you do yourself a favor? Check out the website, BulldogFantasy.net. Walk over tomorrow? Oh, okay.
Hey, there you go.
Did anyone walk over with us today? We had a lot of people yesterday, then no one today.
It was Halloween yesterday. Everybody thought
I know. Everyone's tired today, right?
People were hanging out also waiting for Dane.
There's a couple people.
Yeah.
No, those were Kenny called me. He said they were professional autograph people.
Yeah.
Outside.
It is
Yeah.
funny. Professional autograph people hang out outside K-Rock. You see the same guys for like very different celebrities that we walk out with.
Because they're
They all
selling
sit there
them.
with glossy photos, and they just want to remove them signs so they can auction them off on eBay.
I hate those guys. I really don't. I just think I'm supposed to.
So no, we don't have a winner. We just what
We
are we
have
doing?
3 winners.
Let's just barrel them
Oh,
out.
so just 3 winners. All right.
Beep-a-boop wants to talk.
Yeah, here's the first winner.
I heard on the news on the way in, a couple stabbings and stuff.
That was in Union Square
with a flesh knife.
Repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
And I like the way that kept going, too.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Flesh knife was the line. Repeatedly didn't get really help.
No,
at all.
repeatedly was good, and then I liked what came after
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
I wasn't added in because then Jimmy was talking about getting stabbed in the face and mouth and throat.
Yeah.
I was talking about a cock.
Good tonsil stabbing.
Chicken Trucker from FBA writes, "Congrats, Danny. You are now a Guitar Zero."
Oh.
Here's another line of the day.
To see it. Yeah, I texted Bobby today and let him know I'm here, but he's probably sleeping after having called one of his fans and talked for 4.5 hours.
Dane Cook, everyone. He was fun today. We had a very, very exciting show today.
Dane was fun. Penn was a fun guest. I wish we would have talked more about bullshit because I really am a fan of that show. It's a
I didn't know
great
how
show.
much time we had. We were
No, I know.
we were starting to seg into that, and then he had to leave. We didn't know. And then Slash was great.
Great.
All right.
More guests.
You don't have to
More
do
gooder.
the dramatic intro. Here's another line of the day thanks to BodogFantasy.net.
That'll never happen. I'm never going to let it happen as I'm letting it happen right now.
He's making it happen. What a dope. Email it,
Wow.
stupid. Then just say you were hacked into.
I forgot what that was about.
That was about the dog, the bounty hunter.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear the unedited
Dog the
version.
N hunter.
We should have played it over here. Maybe tomorrow? Do we have the unedited version for tomorrow?
Somebody email it to me. Get it up on my site.
All right. I really got to go.
Where you going?
We good?
Yes.
Oh, was there a line of the day now?
That was it. All 3
Yeah,
of them
that's
were.
what I thought. Okay.
It's perfect.
Nothing else to do?
There are no losers, only winners. Bye, guys.
All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.
I got stupid in stereo.
The Opie and